Hello.
That was no.
No.
Come on.
Shut up. Shut up. Today we're talking about Baldur's Gate 3. I stayed up way past my bedtime to beat that game last night. I did it for you. Anyway.
Do you want to warn everybody now?
This is full of spoilers, so if you haven't finished the game, get out and come back when you beat it.
Well, I guess we
and
are
good luck, because the ending's kind of hard.
We're going to talk about it in acts. So if you have beat Act 1, you can watch like the first 15.
I would not give anyone that kind of...
But
yes,
if
but
you really don't want...
We're going to jump, no doubt.
So then maybe if you just want to be safe, just avoid this one.
Yeah.
Just give us the view.
We've given everyone a
Stay around
week.
for now, give us the view, and then head out.
the video,
Yeah.
subscribe.
Or if you're listening
comment.
on Spotify, you give us a little bit of watch time. Maybe mute it, give us some watch time.
Oh, yeah.
And then just
open
head
a new
out.
tab,
Yeah.
mute it, watch
Yeah.
the whole thing,
Yeah.
have it on repeat, go sleep.
They accidentally
Go to
unmute it
sleep.
and they just hear like the worst shit.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn
You
it.
sons of bitches.
Okay, Spencer, hit it.
I'm going to do a really
That's
big...
not what I want you to
No,
hit.
I'm going to
You
do a
know
really
what I
big...
want you
I'm going
hit.
to do a really big spoiler right now, so you got to leave the video, or you're going to... Did you leave? The Emperor is Baldur. That's the biggest spoiler, I think.
Is what?
That is. He's balling.
He's balling.
I'd say it's Baldur.
That is the biggest spoiler.
Like Baldur's Gate.
No,
He is Baldur.
He is
He
Baldur's
is.
Gate.
He's Baldur?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Craig, you
I don't know if I
didn't...
realized that.
He's Baldur.
The Emperor does not have any hair.
No.
No, like,
He's bald.
I thought he was Baldur's... Like
He
the
is.
Baldur?
He's
That's the
I
big
did not...
spoiler.
I did not...
He's
no,
from
I thought-
Baldur's
Yeah,
Gate.
that's the big
It was a
spoiler.
spoiler for Craig.
Oh, I guess you said the Emperor, not... I don't mind. I understand now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Craig just got spoiled.
Yeah, I told you,
Craig
no one's
beat the game and got
safe. No one's
spoiled.
safe. I did not make the connection. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Spencer, what's it going to take
It
for
was
you to hit it?
his whole
Hit it?
backstory.
Hit what?
The gritty?
The Emperor?
Hang on, before we start, I have
I
to get
didn't-
one thing out of
I
the way
didn't fuck
here.
him.
Okay, if we're going to have Baldur's Gate episode.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to at least start it with a little, All right,
No.
that's it. I
Wait.
just want to let everybody know
Wait.
that every time, Spencer's PC's right there, my
Yeah.
PC's right there. When we come in here, Marcy's asleep to play the game like we've been doing. Every time we walk in here, we say no words. She looks at me and goes, oh, and I go, hey. And then we go on our playthroughs
we put in our
shut
headphones
up.
and we don't talk to each other.
But that we communicate that every single time. That's the call.
It's the breaking of the ice. It's time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we are jumping
What
into
did hang
Act
on.
3 for a
I
second.
now want to go. What did you two call that stupid fucking fighting song? Because you guys have very similar names for
Oh,
Fighting song?
it. Yeah, there's a song that goes and it just has a bunch of. I mean, it's probably saying something. There's a bunch of syllables, and Lacey calls something funny, and then I told it to Jacob. Jacob said something almost identical.
I can never remember until I hear it, and then I'm
I mean,
like, oh, that was the
I
one.
have one that I sing to Marcy all the time, and I hit her head to the beat of it, and she thinks it's funny. It's the ya harding ave ya do da bi
That's
ya
the
da
one.
bing
That's
ba
the
bi ba bi ba. Yeah, that one. I like
Lacey
that
calls
one.
it something funny, and you also called it something
It's
funny.
the Yabugabi song.
Yeah.
Yago Babi. That's what it does.
Yes, it does. I was like, what song are you talking about? And it played, and I was like, oh, this one. And I told Jacob, and he said the exact same thing. I was like, no, it just makes
Yago
sense.
It makes
Babi.
sense.
What are those lyrics? They're fucking nothing.
I don't know, but it's funny.
Borislav Slavov is back there, and he's just going. Anyways, the music's fucking amazing.
For pop off whenever now.
Okay, that's insane. Did you never go get the dragon? Answer. His name's Answer.
No fucking clue.
Whoa!
You didn't
That's
fight
like
the dragon?
did you not do this either?
No, what are you talking about?
What? They didn't do this?
Okay, that's Act 3. That's Act 3. We gotta go back to Act 1.
I also
We're
maybe we
bringing it
start
back.
here. I should preface, my game fell apart in Act 3.
Okay.
Like mechanically and bugged, it just, a lot of things didn't happen.
That's
a lot of
crazy.
things happened twice and it was very bad.
shit.
But we should start with
Take
probably
it back.
character creation.
Oh, yeah.
What classes do we start as? What character? What would you build? What's our peoples? And then we'll maybe go
I
from
think
there.
that may be hard for one of us here.
I was gonna say, let me preface
One.
with saying I have like 14 characters right now.
So same. But
Okay,
well,
so
do you wanna-
I
more
have-
further
do, like,
back, meta. How many hours
First
do we have in the
character
game?
we beat the game with?
Well,
first character?
I think all of us only have one option except someone.
That's why I'm trying to limit.
I think you pick your favorite
Okay.
of the ones
Okay,
you've beaten. But
I'll just go with the first one I finished the game with.
it's a valid point, though.
Well, that's
maybe
the
we'll
thing,
start
though.
big meta.
Is
How many
it-
times have you beaten it, and then how
There
many
you go.
hours you got?
That's what I was
And
gonna
then we'll
say.
go into character creation.
yeah. How many times have you beat it, Lacey?
4.
You beat the whole game 4 times?
4 times.
Like the fucking brain is in the Chianthar four
4
times?
times,
Holy
yes.
fuck!
Yeah.
Damn.
That's nuts.
It came out, so I was on summer vacation from college, and I had nothing to do for like the first 3 weeks, and I just like the full day, morning to night, I played. I have 350 hours in the game.
Oh my god. That's how much I have in the game from early access and this.
No.
It's 4 years of game in 1 month.
Maybe half of that from early access.
Nuts.
Don't underestimate my autism.
That's crazy.
We have to go. I just realized we have to go further back in our meta conversation again. Who are you?
Oh, who am I?
Yeah, you've been on here enough, but like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like,
what's your name?
Like, what do you?
This is Lacey. This is my wife. This is
I've been on here before.
No, absolutely, but I mean, who knows?
This is Lacey.
There's audio
We,
listeners.
we always like to introduce everyone, regardless.
That's true. I forgot. I figured everybody would just know, but I was sticking.
I figured the same too.
Yeah.
I am married to Craig.
Well, yeah.
It's really
you
funny.
exist independently of my own being, but
I do exist, contrary to popular belief.
Torment
You
him.
two are the most non-married married couple ever. Like, every time I think about that you're married, I'm like, that's crazy. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But in my head, I'm just like, oh yeah.
Life partner or whatever.
That's cute.
It's because we don't go anywhere together. Because I don't go anywhere.
Because you're playing Baldur's Gate all the time.
Yeah.
For a very long time, Jacob's parents thought you were married to Mia.
Yeah, that happens a lot too.
That was the first 2 times you came over, and they were like, so that's not Craig's wife? And I was like, no. So where is she? And I'm like, what do you mean?
It's a running joke that I don't exist.
Yes.
I just...
Yeah, for the longest time,
I've
we
seen
had a
her
friend group. We were like,
once.
I don't know if I've ever seen her.
I knew Craig for... I think that's why, is because I'm pretty sure I knew you for like a year before I met you.
I feel like a lot of it is because when you first met, like, this group of people, I was sick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well,
and then I got better, and I was like, well, I didn't leave this like whole last 2 years, so I'm just gonna keep not leaving.
Yeah.
I did see you. I just saw a moving shadow in the hallway sometimes, and I was just like it was like a cryptid sighting. Yeah.
I have a vivid memory of playing at your table and like looking over it, and like the hallway was just like right across, and you were just like, and you turned around and then went back down the hallway.
That happens a lot.
Oh,
Less so now that I'm feeling like better, but
Yeah.
I still flee from everyone.
Sorry,
gotta flee.
not to interrupt. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
In case someone's like, who's
good.
this random lady?
Yeah.
Who's clowning on all of us?
I think you do need to say all 4 of your characters, at least just like the build and like
No, for sure.
who they were and characterization.
I have the first one I ever made was a paladin, and he was inherently unfuckable by everyone but the voices in his head. I tried.
Yeah.
And
Which subclass?
I picked Oath of the Ancients, and I actually managed to keep my oath until the 3rd act.
Whoa.
Which I then broke because I was trying to romance Astarion, who really did not want me. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna let you like do your thing. And then he was like, no, I'm still not interested.
Damn.
But I broke my oath to do that.
Wow, broke your oath for Astarion?
Yeah.
And he still rejected you?
What about the other 3?
Wow.
What?
What about the other 3?
The next one is the one I actually finished the game with. I had a fighter who I just made, what's the one? A champion. So I didn't have to make any decisions at all. And you just
it's all
hit
passive.
shit.
It's great.
He was a dark urge, and I was taken off guard by a lot of the stuff that happens as a dark urge.
I've heard 1 or 2 things about Dark Urge, and it's fucking nuts.
I
really want to play it.
I want to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it for you guys because it's really worth not knowing
Maybe
when
I'll
you go
play
in.
that next.
So
I'll put Astarion on the back.
Yeah, you should. I don't want to spoil it for Spencer. I know one thing about it, and that is I have seen what people talk about Alfira. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
No, it gets really fucked up. It's great.
Cool. I'm excited.
Narratively, it's fantastic. I like, no spoilers for this part, but I do like it because like you get assigned, I guess, a backstory for your character that actually plays out in the game, and you discover bits about yourself because you had lost your memories.
So Colton was telling me this. His first playthrough was Dirge, and he said the same thing. He was like, I really like that I kind of have a backstory.
Yeah.
It's like, that's cool.
And because instead of like making your own headcanons about your character and coming up with your own backstory, you actually get to see it happen, which is really awesome.
That's so cool. I love that they did that. That's so cool. What was your 3rd character?
I'm trying to remember which one I played next. I have a bunch of clerics that I'm going through right now. A bunch of clerics. I have like 4 because
what gods interact with what things?
I made a darker cleric of Lathander because I thought that would be really funny.
Yeah.
And it actually,
It's really funny.
so he's the one that accidentally he walked into camp and everyone immediately wanted to fuck, and I was like,
Wow.
whoa, like I didn't even plan this, but okay. And then I made a cleric of Mistra, to romance Gale,
Cool.
for the drama of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing right now. And
See, I've heard that is fun, and I've also heard like enemies to lovers being a Saloonite and going for Shadowheart.
Yeah.
For Shart is also really cool.
Shart.
I want to do that next.
There you go. That's awesome.
The problem is that so for some reason I didn't get Gale's like lock-in romance scene, and Astarion beat him to it and then like confessed his undying love for me in the middle of Act 2.
And you were like, I
Well,
have
I
to
was
take it.
Playing with you.
I was
God
like,
damn.
I can't reject him. I spent all this time trying to get him. So
Sorry, Gale.
yeah, sucks to be him.
Gale is the Ken of this game. He's everybody's Gale skin romance, and he's like, I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'd be.
What about you guys?
My favorite
about
memes.
you?
So I streamed like the first 3 hours on I streamed the first 3 hours on my main channel. I just did like some first impressions and stuff, and I made a bunch of characters, but I just did them in the character creator just to see what I could do with it because I thought it was fun. So I made like Terra, I made Syndrix, I made Damon, I made a bunch of characters, and then I was like, I think I want to play as Zeraphis, so who's a tiefling warlock. And then I streamed that like first couple of hours, and then I stopped. I was continuing to play, and I was like, I actually don't think I want to play this. So I went back, and I was like, I think this. So I was having fun with it, and then I realized, oh, I'm playing a character. I think my first playthrough needs to be self-insert so that I make all the decisions I want to make, and then I'll play the wacky role plays later once I know how the game goes. Yeah. So I restarted, and I made Jace. And it was the best decision because I had so much fun. Jace is a bard, a human bard, and it was a really good time. He's a pretty beautiful boy, and he's very stupid, but he's also, he just tries to rizz up everyone. And his story basically went like trying to fuck everybody and ended up getting no one, which was so him and very perfect. Blythe was his guardian. And then I kind of the playthrough, which is just how I want to play, was just like anytime like I was a goody, but anytime any amount of power was offered to me, I was like, take, give. So I was just dipping into everything, and it was a lot of fun. I was like part illithid, fucking the devil had like my body. There was just and I also, with all the companions, I let them all pop off with whatever they wanted to do, which is not the greatest ending for Astarion apparently. But I was, every time somebody was like, "This is everything I want," I was like, "Yes, you go get Gale, jump in that fucking river, go get that." Like I wanted all of them to have whatever they wanted, and it was fine. But I'll get more into it later. But I've only beat the game on that character, and now I've started like 4 new games. Yeah. And yeah.
The character creator's a trap.
It is.
It really is. It's a lot of fun.
I've played probably 15 of the same characters, just playthroughs throughout early access.
And now.
And then I went, I'm going to play the exact same character. And I played a half-elf fighter named Ren. And it was a good time.
Named Ren?
Ren, yeah.
What fighter are you?
Battlemaster.
Swords Bard, by the way. And this was Jace I had played it is like my Joe Manganiello Archon the Cruel. I just play him in like every campaign ever. I played him in your game, and that was the most fun I had with him because he was Swords Bard with Battlemaster fighter. It didn't work out the way I liked in Baldur's Gate 3 because I couldn't do as much on a turn because they put a lot on bonus actions. Yeah. So it just kind of felt a little clunky, and about halfway through, I kind of took out levels of fighter and put more into Bard. And then by the time I was in the last 6 hours of the game, I went full Bard, and I had a lot of fun with full Bard. I was like, this is fun. I'm cool with this. Dance, turn into a sheep. It was a great time. And you, Craig?
I played, my game got beat by a Wood Elf Paladin of Vengeance that eventually became Oathbreaker.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Vengeance Paladin is sick.
Yeah.
And becoming an Oathbreaker Vengeance Paladin,
Yeah.
it's like what? You started being a good person?
No.
Oh shit.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not entirely sure how. I know what the dialogue option I clicked that caused the oath break, but I don't know entirely what tenet I broke to do it. We'll get that. But that was also third act, so it could have just been busted.
Was it the Gortash scene?
Yeah.
That's when I accidentally broke my Vengeance Paladin's oath.
Yeah.
Also,
So
What Gortash scene?
I think when during his coronation, where you break your oath, like when he's asking you to stay for the ceremony, and I think it's because he's like actually like a terrible fucking person.
Yeah.
And technically, your oath says that you're supposed to kill him for being evil, but then you're like, yeah, no,
it
you can
that,
take
or is
out
it
Baldur's
Karlach?
Gate.
no, Karlach wasn't with me for that first scene to see him.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I wonder if it doesn't matter, and as long as you have Karlach, because Karlach wants nothing else than to fucking kill him. Because I didn't have Karlach during that part either, but she did, and apparently she just like rushes him.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'm not sure. It was tricky because I don't know if it could have just been the timing, but I ran into Orin a lot, so Orin seemed to be the thorn on the side, and I think the obvious like person to deal with second.
Right. Okay, well,
So yeah, we'll get into
roll
that
it back.
next week.
Did you do any other playthroughs?
No. I mean, I have a gold dragonborn.
That's cool.
That was also, I don't think it was. I think it was maybe been ancients, and then I broke my oath almost immediately too. But that was because I killed an unconscious goblin.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was gonna do it anyway. So Oathbreaker's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Oathbreaker's fucking.
I think that's what I want to do with Dirge. Is I'll play an Oathbreaker.
Cool.
I'll like go.
It's very
paladin and
fucking
do
cool.
Oathbreaker
Honestly,
or
I was
something.
trying to break my oath the entire time with vengeance,
Yeah.
and it just pissed me off that I was like at that fight,
Act
which is
three.
like the almost the third thing. So I mean, I was
Yeah.
able to go like levels 9 through 12 as it.
I've
very
interacted
happy.
with Oathbreaking at all, and I love that you can do it.
Oh, the
I
person
think
that shows
it's
up
super
was so
awesome.
fucking hard.
That's cool.
Oh, they're so fucking cool.
So Act 1
Yeah.
is enormous. Every act is
Huge.
enormous. I really thought that Act 3 wasn't going to be that big, but
Yeah.
it was. But Act 1 is huge.
Okay, I'm gonna set a timer.
Yeah, go for it. And
15
Act 1
minutes
is
for-
also the early access. But they have added a lot of new things I've noticed. Because when I played, I was trying to speed through Act 1 because I fucking know it already. And I wanted to get to the new stuff. And I wanted to be able to beat the game so I could go back and replay it again. And so I rushed through it. And now that I'm on my like 5 new games, I'm like actually exploring Act 1. I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of new shit here I didn't know about. But when I was playing Jace, I was just like, come on, Underdark, Hag, fucking, let's get through this. But what was your experience with Act 1? At least the first time when you were playing it.
I missed 90% of it, I think,
Oh, shit.
because I did what you did and I tried to get through it like as fast as possible because
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, like I want to see the ending and then I'll go back and do all the details and whatever, which is why I missed Karlach and Will the first time through, which
You
is
didn't
very
even
sad.
get them?
I didn't even get them.
Whoa,
But
that's
it-
crazy.
Speed run.
I didn't finish the game with that guy because he was
It was
Unfuckable?
fucked.
Yeah.
Unfuckable.
unfuckable, completely unfuckable.
Damn.
He was very paladin too. He like every dialogue option that was like, I'm a paladin, trust me. I had to take it because it was funny. I had to
So
remind
good.
everyone of my oath.
That's one of my favorite things is the dialogue options that you get
Yeah.
for your class or even your race or even your background. It is so cool. I'm playing a rogue right now in our game that we just started, and it's cool seeing all the new dialogue options, and it just leads to new stuff.
Yeah.
I love it. So did you let the druids? Who did you side with in Act
I
1?
sided with the druids because Halson showed up, and I was like, yeah.
Love that man.
So I slaughtered everyone in the goblin camp, and then I got lost a few times, and most of that was that was 300 hours ago. So
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of what happened.
Craig, you also
but-
slaughtered the goblin camp,
Yeah.
and we were laughing really hard because it was like a couple of days after the game came out. You were just like, I accidentally just took all of Minthara's stuff. She was just naked on the ground.
Yeah,
there was a
that
problem
happened to me
where
too.
early on, I think they fixed it finally, but I was before I fucked my game, where I didn't even know who she was. Because it somehow, I can't remember what roundabout way it happened, but I initiated combat and someone was like, you know what? I'm going to clear all these fuckers out anyway.
Yeah.
And then she's there, and I'm like, fuck, that's the woman that you can like try and partner with. And I was like, well, and then Lacey's playing alongside me, but she's run off by like this point, like a ton of hours into it. So I was she's been like my encyclopedia. I turn around and I'm like, hey, how do I do this? She's like, we have to kill all the druids. I'm like, I ain't doing that. So I'll kill her. But
that's so funny. That's the same with us too. She's like, how do I do this? And I'm like, here are your 10 options.
yeah. So I didn't realize that Pummel Strike was non-lethal if you drop them with it. So Lysel drops her with Pummel Strike. And I'm like, oh, loot her. I loot her. She's naked. And I'm like, oh, I just wanted her clothes. I just to take all. Yeah. She's naked, unconscious.
Yeah.
I turned to Lysel. I'm like, can I wake her up? If I heal her, will she get back up? I was like, what do I do with her? I don't want to kill her now naked and unconscious. Yeah. But I don't wait a long rest and she gets up. Now she's still naked but angry. Yeah. So I had to kill her, but then I had her body laying there. I accidentally looted her corpse. Yeah. And then at the point I had to like pick it up and throw it into the hole. Yeah. And I was like, I can't be held responsible for this. And then I wore her outfit almost the entire playthrough.
Playing Dirge and like collecting people like Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Chest just has everybody in it.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
That is the funniest thing we do on multiplayer is people are like, oh, look at this dead goblin. And I'm like, okay, hang on, watch this. And it just disappears. And they're like, where'd it go? Did you just put him in your pocket? And I was like,
send a camp.
I don't know, maybe somewhere. Yeah. And then sometimes just being like, guys, I don't have enough room for anything. I should drop something. And it's just a goblin. So funny.
I saw someone on Twitter who had like killed all of the companions and put all the companions' corpses into the chest, and I was like, "That's dedication."
Wow, damn!
I'm kind of proud of them.
Yeah, damn.
Kept them.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of ways in Act 1 where you can actually permanently kill some of the companions, which I didn't know until we started doing our chat plays game. And I don't know if you know about this, Lacey, but every Monday I'd stream since the game came out. A run where chat is making every decision, mostly every decision. And the major decisions. They made the character, and it's all through polls. So we poll everything, and they all do it. And our character is a deep gnome monk named Narf the Mud Chicken Usurper. And and so many people are dead because if anybody wrongs Narf, they get killed.
Wow.
When we found Asterion, we immediately attacked him, knocked him killed him. Took all of his things, brought him back to life naked, and then he has dialogue for that. He goes, so you just kill me and bring me back. What's with this? And it was so funny. I was like, what the fuck? There's like dialogue for this? This is nuts.
I have to do that now.
Yeah, but you can permanently kill Lysel.
Asterion.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Asterion, if you stake him when he sucks you, he's permanently dead. You can't revive him.
Sucks you.
Yeah, and then Lysel, when she tries to off you in the middle of the night that one time, if you take it, and then... She's supposed to kill herself as well, but I guess she doesn't in the game currently. But if you kill her after, you bring yourself back and then kill her, she's permanently dead.
You can also not save her from the little cage she's in.
Yes.
And she goes to her thing and they kill her.
And they kill her. Yep. Which is pretty nuts. Will can die if you don't pick him up and you fight all the druids.
Yeah.
Which happened in our stream game. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
I don't have any of that happen.
No, I didn't.
I had everyone.
I had someone die, but that's Act 2 discussion.
Oh.
But
what about you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you for Act 1? Anything drastic happen?
Nothing dramatic happened. I forgot about the hag. I didn't do the hag. I did everything else though. I found the creepy book. I killed all the spiders. I did everything there. I
forgot about the creepy book, and I didn't know what that shit did. I took that to the end game. It was in my I'm on top of the nether brain. It's in my inventory.
Yeah.
If you give the creepy book to Astarion, it really stresses him out. You go to the camp and he's like reading through it and he's like really pissed off and he starts yelling. He's like, "This book won't stop talking to me."
So funny.
And then if you suggest that he gives it over to Gale instead, because he seems like he's losing his mind a little, he gets even more mad. And he starts to yell at you, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take away your toy.
Yeah. His toy, it's his intramural time, right? Asterius reading the Book of Thay, all right? Just let him be. That, I did want to say that, just quickly, I also sided with the druids and saved the tieflings. Did you do the same thing?
Yeah, for sure.
And Minthara was a corpse, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's not my fault. They should find a different way to get her in their party.
I think there is, but
just something that's not so permanent. I think all the party members should be allowed to be in. Like, even if Minthara's like, kill just what's her name?
There is a way that you can do it.
There's a mod.
There is a mod. There's lots of mods for the game, There is one way you can do it, but there is a sacrifice you have to make. I think you can save the druids, and I think you can save the tieflings. You can still get Minthara, but you cannot have Minthara and Halsin at the same time. You have to pick one.
See, that's whack.
I can't make that decision.
It should be allowed in the same
No,
party.
Halsin,
I
I think all of them should be. I think all of them are too late. There's a lot of characters that are too late into the game. You get to join
Agree.
up.
Act 3. Yeah.
For the sake of completionism, I did once get Minthara. I slaughtered everyone and got Minthara.
Yeah.
And then I did Minthara's romance scene, which was, I think, one of the most like in-depth, explicit sex scenes like in the entire game.
Oh,
and I was
God.
like, yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm Dirge Paladin. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that bitch.
I don't know if it was worth losing Will and Karlach, but
Well.
And Halsin.
and Halsin for a Dark Urge playthrough, it kind of makes sense. Like if you're trying to be evil,
The goodies are gone.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Does Gale stay?
I think
Gale's
so.
down with anything.
Yeah, Gale
Gale's down bad, so
Gale's-
it's like
Gale's
is down
watching.
bad, yeah.
That man's chronic fucking enabler. He don't care.
We did a tier list like a night ago about like our favorite companions, and like the we did an attractiveness one, and then we did like a who we like the story wise.
Yeah.
But I have to say, from like a non-biased, just an objective perspective on everything. Every time I interact with Asterion, every time I see stuff about Asterion, I didn't romance him. I didn't really do like a whole lot with him. But he's just the best character in the game.
Yeah, I
Every
agree.
time I see stuff about him, his the way he's acted, Neil Newbon, I don't know how to say his last name. He acts. The way that he performed him is amazing. His dialogue is incredible. His story is very incredible. I got to see parts of it from your game. It's just he's great.
He's narratively one of the most well-written characters
Yes,
I've ever seen.
that's the thing.
It's awesome.
That's the thing. He's very good. But who's your golden child in your game? Who's like, I love you, Halsin. You drew Halsin. He looks so good.
Yeah. I didn't finish it, but I did start.
We saw it in the middle of the game. It was great.
Yeah. As in, like, who do we romance or who's like our favorite character?
Who's like your favorite character?
I really like Gale. Yeah. Next
That's
playthrough,
surprising.
I'm gonna date Gale for sure.
It is surprising.
I
He
do
was
like Gale a lot.
the first time we played. He was all into Lae'zel.
I still am, but I think that
Dude, same
I think
though.
that Gale would have been. I think a lot of it's how the game staggers companions.
Yeah.
And I think they come really heavy on in the first like 4 days.
Yeah.
And I wish there was a little bit more of a staggering in some
Apparently
degree.
that's a
because,
bug.
Because if I wish
It is a
I
bug.
wish I had some more interaction with all of them,
Yeah.
I would have chosen probably different.
That
I do like. I mean, I think it would have been between them two. But and they still wind up in my main three. But I would have probably picked him over her.
That
I
was
do like her. A lot.
Gale's romance. The fact that he's like default romancing you is a bug, and they hotfixed it already.
Oh, that's nice.
See, I think
Yeah,
that's a
so
lot of
he's
problem.
not like immediately in your pants.
Like night
You
4,
actually
he's
have
like,
to
"Yes, fuck."
initiate.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the most Jace experience ever. Shadowheart, Lae'zel, and Gale
yeah.
were like, let's fuck now. And I was
Yeah.
like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Lae'zel, get in here. But no, I agree. I love Gale. I have a whole thing I want to talk about with Gale because I think the thing is that I also get when people are like, I don't like Gale. It's like, that's
Yeah,
kind
of
of
course,
valid.
of course.
I totally get it, but there's a part of Gale that means like something to me. And honestly, a big portion of it, without getting too much into it, is like, I love that he's, besides maybe Karlach, like one of the more good leveled like companions. But I think out of everybody, I love that he's like an optimist. I think out of everybody in the party, he's always looking to like, even when he's in the face of like, I have to die, like he's still like, well, you know, here's the bright side of this.
Yeah.
Here's how we can work this out. And I'm like, there's not a lot of characters that are like that. Not only in games, but just in media. And it was really refreshing to be like, I think like this. Like, this is so cool. I love him. So, yeah. What obviously, you love Asterion.
I do love Asterion.
Yeah. Who's like your number 2 pick?
Probably just from what I've seen, probably Shadowheart. I like
Yeah,
her.
that's
Her
solid.
Yeah.
The end of her storyline made me cry a little bit. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
You didn't?
I don't think so.
You didn't get her ending, or
I don't think so.
That's
We'll
Well,
talk
it
about
is
it.
Act 3. Your Act 3
We'll
was
talk
a little
about it.
goofed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like looting Minthara's clothes off her body.
Yeah.
Like everyone bugging out and trying to fuck me. I think my game was riddled
Oh,
with bugs,
yikes.
Yeah.
and that because
Yeah.
I started early and saved, clearly hotfixes are backwards.
Yeah.
That should fix them. I think I got a lot of stuff that just didn't get quite
Nice
got.
playthrough. Nice
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But next
Yeah.
playthrough, we're gonna slam it all out.
Yeah.
But definitely Gale's gonna be my person, which I chose Lae'zel for this one.
I can't choose between like, I think my top was Gale, Will, Lae'zel, and Jaheira. They're like, I love them all equally. They're so cool. They're so cool. Who's like your top 2, top 3?
So Halsin's my favorite, and then Astarion is probably my second favorite. My third, I don't know.
All of them.
I'm stuck. I'm kind of stuck because I like them all the most. I don't like Gale when I'm not romancing him, but when I'm actually trying to fuck, then he's like one of my favorites. But maybe Shadowheart, I think is the next one.
Really good one.
Yeah,
but I really like Lae'zel when I'm romancing her too, because she could snap me in half, and I would thank her for it. So
she's very cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said Lae'zel in like my top 4. I meant to switch that out for Karlach. I do really like Lae'zel, but I think the end of her story, maybe the way I did it, I was kind of like by it, but I don't know. I really liked
very good.
The ending that I got, especially like with Karlach and stuff. So
Karlach is. I mean, talking about like really well written stuff.
Yeah. She's number 2.
Astarion and
Shami Crown in the club.
And Shadowheart are very good.
Yes.
Do you know my favorite thing about all the characters? I think is that none of them are like a stereotypical example of their class. They're all very different than what you'd expect.
Yeah. Yes,
it's great.
And the other cool part about that, okay, it's such like God. The writing in this game is nuts.
It is.
I keep talking about just how fucking well it's written, but. The other part that leans into that too is that it really makes them very malleable for the idea of like cross-classing them or even like respecking them if you want to. Because like Lae'zel could be a paladin, Shadowheart could be a warlock, and like they can all kind of change in different ways, and I think that's super cool because that's what I did with my Will in Act 3 when I broke his pact. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I broke his pact with Mizora. I had him go full paladin, and then at the very end, I cross-classed him into warlock and paladin, and it was fucking awesome. I loved it.
I haven't multi-classed anyone yet, but I really should.
Chihira was a fighter druid for me because that's what she is in the first Baldur's Gate.
I only switched around a little bit of stuff with Shadowheart. I made her a light domain cleric after.
That's good.
Yes,
that's
after
very
her
good.
story kind of finished up.
Yeah. And then she's casting fucking fireball.
She is.
Sick.
It was great.
It's great.
Right,
What are we done with Act 1? Whoa, 15 seconds. Yeah. What's your favorite part of Act 1? Quick, go.
Volo took my eye.
Oh my god, me too. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love that part.
Knowles.
No, fuck yeah, Knowles.
Yeah. I liked those paladins that are going after Karlach and how they're being kind of they're deceiving their way through the sword coast.
Yeah.
Also, that guy's sword, I had it till like the last.
It's a good
fight.
fucking sword.
Yeah, I swapped it out for a different sword, but I'll tell you about that later.
So good.
If it wasn't the hag, because I think the anti-elf is very, very cool. It's when you help all the Myconids and they go like this.
Yeah.
And they do their little Myconid dance. I was like, wow, I feel emotional right now. This is nice.
The fighting Underdark was hard. Okay, Act 2. Sorry, no.
Act 2. Okay, so we're beyond the Underdark. We're beyond the Grimforge, which is a fucking...
Beyond,
it's not a slog.
No.
The
beyond
Grimforge...
the crash, beyond everything, we're now in the weird...
She tried that fight so many times.
No, I tried it twice and was like, I'm not fucking doing this. For what?
Really, though, for what?
I fucking pushed really hard into it for like no reason. I didn't know that you could use the hammer.
Yeah.
But what I did is I made my weapon in it, and then like Misty stepped over to it as Jace, pulled the sword out, and then used that to kill him, and that felt awesome. That was so fun.
I did not do the Grimforge.
My favorite parts of Act 2 are tied up in the Dark Urge playthrough, which I don't want to spoil.
Oh, sorry, that's not even Act 2. I
not.
wrote the Underdark into Act 2.
No,
God damn it.
Me too.
That's all Act 1. Act 2 starts when you get to whatever the fuck that place is.
The inn?
The Shadow Cursed Lands or whatever.
There's the Harper fight.
So Spencer and I kind of also did not do the Mountain Pass, which I also feel like is Act 2, but it kind of isn't. It's because it's...
The Crash?
The Crash.
I didn't do
the Crash. The Crash I think is part of Act 1.
Yeah.
I think
agree,
the Crash and... Which sounds crazy because that's also something I would like to see in the future. Heavier boundaries of what is Act 1 and Act 2.
Yeah.
And sometimes it says, hey, if you go beyond this point, you might lose things beyond it. Yeah. What things? Tell me what they are.
Yeah.
Because if they don't exist, I don't want to scour them out.
So far, what I noticed is that Act 2 and 1 kind of bleed into each other a little bit because when you're in Act 2, you can still go back to Act 1.
Yeah.
But when you go to 3, you can't go to either.
For sure.
Which is crazy. So to me, that's why I'm like melding them together because I was still able to go back and I did things.
Yeah.
Like I remember being in the shadow area and then going, oh yeah, the book, and I went and I got the Thay book, and then I came back.
Once you go into the like Shar place, you can't go back.
The Char's Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So Sorry. Yeah. There's a lot. There's Act 2 is pretty.
It's dense.
It's dense.
pretty big,
It's not as dense as 3, but it's because it kind of melds into 1, I think.
Yeah.
But oh my god, the Gauntlet of Shar is huge.
The fight with fucking what's his fuck is crazy.
Balthazar?
No, I don't know.
Ketherick?
Yeah, Ketherick when he dies and then becomes the fucking
Craig,
spawn
I
of-
have been wanting to talk about this with you for
that
so
is the moment I was like, this game's fucking crazy.
Yes.
This is also the moment I've been strategically trying to shut people down on for Mia.
Yes.
Because she watched me play up to that point.
Oh my god.
I fought him and then she got off and went to bed.
Dude.
And then I played for another hour, killed him, he comes out and I'm like,
dude.
It's the craziest fucking thing.
I saw that giant skull coming out of the ground, and I was like, "No fucking way!" And it's just
Yeah.
Merkel. I was like, "Dude, what?
That
This
was
is
fucking cool.
awesome!"
It's
He
so
has the
fucking
coolest
cool.
fight of the 3.
He does.
I agree.
To be honest,
Agree.
he's the coolest fight.
Gortash's fight in comparison is like
Is lame.
it is lame.
He's just like he's just kind of big, and it's like
mine's terrible.
Oh, boy.
My Gortash fight broke my game.
Gortash
Yeah.
is like
So-
he's like the wet cat of the
Yeah.
Dead 3.
Yeah.
Orin's the
kind
fucking
of-
coolest, like pre-transformation.
Yeah. We'll get into it, but I mean,
yes.
She's the
Ketherick,
best.
Ketherick's so fucking cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons is Ketherick too. He sounds awesome.
Yeah.
He has kind of a tragic story.
Oh.
I love that I was almost I tried to redeem him. Like that was fucking fun.
His daughter being in it was super cool.
God.
Isn't he isn't that the guy who did what the
Omni-Man.
hell's his name?
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that
He's
guy.
J.
I
Jonah
was like
Jameson. He's Omni-Man. He's in Whiplash. He's in a bunch of stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
That little, like, I won't call it a love triangle, but like that weird relationship between him, his daughter, and then the Night Song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
The Night Song
The
is
reveal
so
that
cool.
Night
How in the
Song's a
fuck is that
person.
like an
Yes.
I didn't the
Yeah,
first
that was
time
cool.
I
That
played
was cool.
through, I accidentally got Isabel killed. And so I didn't know that they were angel lesbians.
Yes.
And I was so excited.
Oh,
I was like, this is fantastic.
It made a lot of sense once I saw why they didn't put Azamar as a playable race.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, oh,
It makes her
because they really ramped what
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that she's like really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole scene with Shadowheart, I talked to a lot of people about that because that whole decision right there is nuts.
Yeah.
And I was playing. Well, I shouldn't say was. I did. I just ended up a few times, but I'll explain it later. I played trying my best not to save scum. And I'll get into why I'm saying trying in a minute. But I didn't save scum a lot, and a lot of things happened that went a way that I didn't think would go. And that's kind of a part of the fun of why I did it. But when I did that bit with Shadowheart, I failed that like DC 30 persuasion check to get her to stop. And I was like, oh, well. And I did it. And she throws the fucking spear anyways, even if you fail it. I guess it depends on your relationship with her.
Yeah.
Or what you've done with her.
If you have a high enough relationship with her, if you fail the 30 check, there's another chance you have that's only DC 21, which I didn't know, and I spent like 45 fucking minutes like reloading my
Just
saves.
trying to get that 30. Yeah. Damn. I love that though, because for me I was like, oh god, she's gonna go evil. She's gonna kill, and the Night Song's gonna be dead. This is not gonna go well. And then in real time, watching her decide to throw it, I was like, oh my, I fucking love this game. It was so cool to see that because I didn't do a dice roll to do that. It was just her decisions, the story, and the what we did and what I did and she did in the game that led to that instead of just a dice roll. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So fucking Larian, you popped off, and then she's like punching the ground and shit, and it flies away. It's the coolest cutscene ever. And then they are lesbians. They're angel lesbians. They're angel moon
She
lesbians.
stomps on his fucking head too. That's
Oh, she beats Ketherick to death. I mean, he's already dead, but she fucking wails on him. Good. A true paladin.
Well, this isn't the third act, but she has that scene with what's his name, Leroican.
Where
she like kills that guy, and then she's like, I feel like I lost something, and I was like, you broke your oth.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yikes. Yeah.
Letter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who gives a shit?
I'll talk about it later.
So this is my big thing that happened in my act 2. I first of all love Chihira. I really, really like Chihira for a lot of reasons. First of all, I fucking love the Harpers.
Yeah.
Second of all, she's I don't know. It's just something about more in Act 3 about why I really, really like her. But she, like, when I got to learn about her more, because I didn't really play the first couple of games, I don't know Chihira very well. It's just like a character. But I kept texting you. I was like, this is old Russian accent Ari.
Yeah.
And she's very cool. And I like that she could be your companion later. That was awesome. The last light fight went okay. Shadowheart turned undead. Those bitches were gone. And then me and Will and Gale just smacked down that fucking Azamar guy or whatever he was. And then Isabel was fine, I think. Did she gone in both of your games?
The first round, the game glitched and only I was pulled into combat. My other party were not. And she went in, she slipped on ice, and then 4 people divine smite her on the ground and killed her.
Whoa.
And I was like, well, we're not going through this one. So I reloaded it.
My games, this is epic. Like all this stuff is going on.
She watched, goes,
meanwhile, Craig's here. Yeah.
She has 118 hit points. Gone. And she's dead. And I'm like, revive? No, I can't revive her.
That Fallout TikTok you sent me, she's just dead.
Yeah, that's the only time. And I was, and at that point, I was like, "You're too fragile to go anywhere else. You're just stay in the group." Because I saw an alternate universe where you slipped on ice and were stabbed 8 times and never came back.
Yeah.
God.
I think you saved her in yours, right?
Yeah, she was fine.
Yeah.
I did save mine, but I never let it go anymore.
Yeah.
I remember that fight because you were doing it and you were like, "How? This is really annoying." And I went, Shadowheart has turned undead and they're undead. And you went,
yeah.
And then they were blasted.
And fucking Spirit Guardians is so good.
Oh my god, what a
Spirit Guardians move. Is, in my opinion, a little too good.
Then don't use it.
What? Why? That's not how that works.
It is.
No.
If you think it's too good, then don't use it.
Yeah, I did actually stop using it.
Good.
Anyways, so I'm in that fight and I hear the
I wasn't sure if you were saying that.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to explain one thing, which was that I'm in there and then I hear that little guy singing downstairs. I'm like, oh, this is nice. And I go down there.
Little guy singing?
There's a little guy who's in a coma trying to sleep. And Halson knows who he is. And,
that happened before in a different area from me.
And so sense. I brought Halson over and he's like, oh, we got to do this thing. And then we go to the portal and we do the fight. And I was like, okay, let's do this. We're hyped up. We're ready to go. All those guys show up and they kept coming and they kept coming. And Halson died.
No.
I haven't seen Halson for weeks.
Yeah.
I have not.
That's
that
terrible.
Bitch has been.
So
I look longingly at her screen and go, I miss Halson.
Yeah.
He's been dead since Act 2, which was like
he has the best romance.
Yeah, that was the one.
I know he goes in.
The one
I've seen.
The one time that I was like, no, I'm not letting this happen, and I went back like 2 times and did the fight over and over again until you lived.
Yeah.
I think I'd cry if Halson died.
My character stopped. So what happened in my game was the portal shut, all the things died, and my character's like, Halson's dead. He's beyond in the Shadowfell. Gale turns to me and he's like, God, you're so hot when you're all sad. Bloody and sad. And I'm like, Gale, shut the fuck up, dude. And I'm like, and I was romancing Lizelle at the time, and he's just like, it's me or her. And I was like, Gale, I love you, dude, but you the worst fucking timing. I'm currently mourning Halson, and I'm already sleeping with Lizelle. And he's like, you are a cone of cold. And I was like, buddy, you did this to yourself. And then he just fucking he just never fucked with me again after that. And then right after that, Karlach was able to give me a hug. So it was a very emotional game that time. It was nuts.
I think it was right after the Gauntlet of Shar with like everything with Shadowheart. That's when he was like, hey. And I was like, no, bud. No.
You just killed Balthazar. The night song is
we got out.
Fulfill your destiny.
We talked to Raphael. Right after that, he had the little exclamation point. I was like, oh, what does Gale have to say about this? He was like, let's fuck. I was like, no.
It happened to me when I first got into the Shadowcurse lands. I went through the Underdark, so I came out in that area.
That's how I did it too,
where there's like that group of Harpers.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that part.
They all died.
Yeah,
oh,
me too.
God.
Yeah, the whole group died.
I definitely hit one with a spell because I didn't realize that was a Harper. I was with them, but then it's just so dark. I winged one and they died, and I was like, ooh.
I think all of them lived except for the guy who dies in the cutscene.
My group, all the Harpers died, and I was like really underleveled for the area, so we all almost died, and we're at like 5 HP at most, and Gale is all of a sudden like, hey, we're dying. Do you want to fuck?
No.
I was like, what? No.
God, I love him so much.
Poor man.
And I love how he tries to flirt with you by saying, I read a book that says that people get horny when they fight. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I've never heard him say that. Well,
Oh man.
were you say something, Spencer?
It does have to do with a bit in Act 3, but it's about like attacking someone that's in your party.
Oh.
There's a bit where you fight that wizard guy in Act 3.
Mm-hmm.
I had Halson with me, and I had him turn into a fire elemental to fight the other elementals that are in there, and I kept shooting at him, not realizing that it was it. It's like this fucking
It's
fire
confusing.
elemental.
It's annoying.
I've accidentally killed a Starian that way.
The ending of Act 2 was the beginning of the end for my game, unfortunately, because that's when it glitched, started really fall apart. Because Halson then for about a couple hours in the game only had one dialogue line. He didn't say anything else, and he got caught in this weird feedback loop where it'd be like, "Hey, we have to go save whoever that fucking kid is," and I was like, "Okay," and we saved him, and then I talked to him again. He goes, "We need to save that kid." I'm like, "Halson, you went to the portal and came out, my guy.
We already did
It's over." And he's like, "We gotta save him." And I was like, okay, my guy. And then then my objective said, go talk to Halson at the camp. I go to camp, but he wouldn't be at the camp. So I had to go back to the Moonrise Towers, and that's what he did. I told you to be there. And he'd be like, we have to go save that kid. I'm like, dude, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to you, I cannot get you in my party. I can't do anything with you. We're moving to Act 3. I hope you're going to be there.
Craig, he didn't.
If not, he just froze.
I don't think he came back.
He came back.
I was a ghost.
I was a shadow apparition.
Yeah,
that came out and was like, I am Halson.
It's weird because the thing that happens in Act 3 with Orin happened to him. So I was like, I don't know what's real anymore.
He, for me, on my first playthrough, I didn't fix the shadow curse because I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
I didn't either because Halson was dead.
Yeah,
So you like leave and it's like
I didn't know I was supposed to find some kid because I didn't talk to him in camp before when I got there, and I was like, oh yeah, like he'll figure it out. He'll talk to me at some point. But he didn't have like an exclamation point, so I never bothered to talk to him.
Yeah.
And so he left my party after Moonrise Towers, and he just like never showed back up again. And I was like,
I think that happened in
tragic.
Jack's game too. Yeah, he just
He
dipped.
didn't get Thaniel.
No, I don't. Or maybe Colton's game. Somebody else did this too. Yeah.
We left the Shadow Curse lands for Baldur's Gate, and he like turns around at the end, and he's like really sad because we didn't do anything about the thing, and he's like, "This is such a tragedy." And then I never fucking saw him again. I was like, "Okay, well."
We only have a little bit left, but I do want to say because I skimmed over something I didn't want to skim over. Vlaakith is fucking cool as shit.
Yes.
The entire Githyanki Crash is so fucking cool.
Vlaakith does show up if you don't go to the crash, but agreed.
That's good. Because I killed everyone in it. Fucking murdered them.
Damn.
And that is some of the best loot Lysel has for a long time.
Cool.
She is always queen of my game.
We're going to do it in
the only reason I got through was
playthrough.
because I had Shadowheart, but I throw Lysel into a champion fighter, but I also make her an archer. Mm-hmm. And I put all my special arrows on her. She just kills every fucking people with special arrows.
I didn't really have her much because I was playing a fighter. So
so
next time.
For sure. At the end, I was able to have like 3 people in plate mail and then Gale. It was like AC 10. I had AC 20s across the board and him like going, I'm wearing paper.
Yeah. I couldn't decide who I wanted in my group because I love all of them so much that I had like team A and team B and I'd switch them out every time. So every time I long rested, it's like, all right, next team. And I just kept them all around. Last thing for Act 2 that I do want to bring up, which is important, is when you're in Moonrise, there's the possibility you can save Zevlor and you can get Mizora and you can get some progression with Will.
No.
Did you do that?
I did.
Craig?
So again, my game broke.
Right.
I was only able to save Mizora. The other person was somewhere, but my waypoint broke and it wanted me to go through a wall.
That's weird. What the fuck?
It pointed to a room that I don't think exists on the map.
Mine didn't even give it to me. I just found him, and I was just like, "Oh, you're just in here."
I think I don't know that it does give you a point on the map.
I'm sorry, I just realized who we're talking about.
Yeah.
No, that I didn't know he was even captured.
I didn't either. He
I
asked
was talking
me,
about
did you find the people down there? He didn't say who. And I was like,
Yeah.
there's no one down here. What are you talking about?
I was talking about
crazy,
I was talking about the gnome that got kidnapped.
I never did the gnome thing. I found out about that later on, like, when I was looking something up. I was like, oh, I didn't even fuck around with the
some
gnome.
cool shit.
God damn it.
But I got to that point where I could try and save him, and he just the waypoint told me to go outside, and I went outside, and then they're like, you can't go back, and I was like, well, he's in there somewhere.
Yeah,
but
he's in a pod.
I only get Mizora.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, that's funny that you didn't hear about it because, in my opinion, the same thing with Halson and Thaniel. They wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. Every tiefling was like, Zevlor. And I'm like, I'm gonna fucking find him. Just give me a second. And then Halson, every time I talked to him, anytime he's in a situation, he's like, we have to find Thaniel. Hey, I know we're doing something right now, but we really need to find Thaniel. And I'm like, you got it, bro. If I ever see anybody named fucking Thaniel, we will get him. And then he was there, and I was like, there he is.
That was the one dialogue that he kept saying. Yeah. Was that line?
There was Thaniel?
Yeah, and he got broke, and he never said anything again.
Nuts. Did you find Mizora and Zevlor?
The first time, no, because I never even picked up Will, so I just ran through it. But the second time I did, and Mizora was so grateful she tried to fuck me in Act 3. Yeah.
And I did. Anyways,
and I did.
I think it's really cool. Because, that scene made me feel cool for being really into devil lore. Because I wasn't Saves Coming, and I got there and I was like, she's in a pod, and it's like you can kill her, you can free her, and I was like, this is material plane. She can't die.
No, yeah, sure.
Yeah. But it was cool that I got to use some of my meta knowledge. I was like, all right, you get out. And then he got a cool sword, and fucking Will had a goddamn Cambion in the Merkel fight, and that Cambion was awesome.
Yeah. I'm sorry, we're still in 2, but is this the act where did we get the Emperor reveal too?
Not yet.
Act 3.
Is that 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't do this, or maybe you did. Did you ever find Oliver in the Shadow First Names?
Who's Oliver?
He's this little boy.
He's the other half of Thaniel.
He's the other half of Thaniel.
Oh fuck!
No.
Maybe that's what Halsman was saying.
Yeah, you have to go.
You have to go.
You got to go get this little kid, and then you have to reunite him and Thaniel.
Yeah. I found him first.
Me too.
And he wants to play hide and seek with you, and you play hide and seek with him, and it's really cool. And I hope you find it next time. And then they were like, we got to go find the other half of him, and I was like, I think I already know where he is. Yeah. Cool.
So I helped him, and then also him went back to camp.
And he was
they're
still
both one person next to each other.
Yeah.
Halson's saying we need to find him.
And we're like,
and I was like, dude, I don't want to help. He's right here.
Yeah.
I pick him up, throw him.
Last thing about Act 2, that fucking Drider is awesome. That Drider's so cool.
I was mad. I was pissed off because I played through my first my Gold Dragonborn all the way up to that point. Then I restarted for some reason, I can't remember what. And I'm upset I did not keep the lantern.
The lantern?
I should have kept it the entire way. Fuck that, Pixie. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I was afraid that I was going to lose it, and I was like, I need this. So for
Shadowheart
all
with
of
that
Act
fucking
2,
thing is
up
so
into
cool
Act 3, that Pixie was in there just like, you munching asshole! And I was like,
I give it to Shadowheart. It was so fucking cool looking. She had this massive shield and that fucking thing, and I was like, oh, this is the hardest thing I've ever seen.
I let that Pixie go in Baldur's Gate. I was like, goodbye. And then it's like, here's a blessing. And I was like, fuck. I didn't know I'd just get it. But
the Drider should be fuckable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that should be fuckable. Why do we not? No, so this is Act 1. But why do we not have a goblin model? There's 80 billion goblins. We can't have one character model. Clearly all the choices exist.
Yeah.
Can't be a goblin?
No.
Can't fuck a goblin? Can't fuck the Drider? I mean, I understand why. That Drider has issues.
That's true.
Yeah.
Act 3. So Act 3 is a fucking doozy.
Yeah.
So actually give me 2 seconds really quick.
Act 3 is the one I have the most to say about because there's
I have a lot
less
to say about
darker
Act 3
spoilers.
too. There's a ton of shit that comes up from Act 1 into Act 3, which is nuts.
Yeah.
I think they hinted at the Drider in Act 1. If you go down into that little spider well thing.
They do, yes.
And I was like, I remember telling you, I think there's going to be a Drider in the game.
I love Driders. I think they're awesome. So I'm just going to get into it, kind of like set the scene here, because Act 3 can go a number of different ways.
Yeah.
And so beginning of it, you know, you've got that fight with those Gith that show up with I guess are Githzerai, I think. And in the astral prism, and you find out who the Emperor is, which is that your guardian is actually a fucking mind flayer.
Yeah.
And I
tentacles.
And I just want to say, I love the Emperor. I think the Emperor is one. I have a little bit of beef with him about one thing, but I love the Emperor. And in the moment when I was playing it, I was like, this guy is really cool. His little backstory that he gets, where he's like fucking hopping through the streets of Baldur's Gate, and you see like little cutscene. I was like, this guy's awesome. And there's so many dialogue options just to like be a shithead to him. And I was like, I got to scroll down to be nice. And he's like, thank you for being open-minded. And I was like, no problem, my guy. You are just a dude who is very clearly like a victim of this situation here. You are just like me. And it's just funny to me because I can see the writers, the developers being like, most people are going to hate this guy. And I was like, not me. No. I love him.
That's probably my biggest gripe. And it could be because my game fell apart. But I think that's my biggest fucking gripe with that. Is that they say he's really likable, but then what happens in my game says otherwise, and then my character gets doomed because of it.
What?
So we'll talk about it for
Yeah,
sure.
I think
But
there's-
my character got.
There's lots of endings.
I spent a ton of time in it, and I got fucking shafted in every aspect because of the stuff I did.
What the fuck? That's nuts.
We'll see.
Okay.
But we'll talk about it. But I also agree, and I also did every fucking option. I was like, hell yeah, I'm fucking down for him. He's fucking cool.
He's cool.
I created this really cool dynamic where I was like, when you get his outfit, it's too bad I was already wearing that fucking Ketherick's fucking armor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh fuck. At that point, I had so many tables I could fly around.
Yeah.
Oh dude, I was fucking. I was
kill
feeling
him?
myself.
Is he dead?
The Emperor? No.
So Spencer did not become part Illithid, but I definitely did.
I did
not.
And it was very funny because Jace took that and he was like, become, and he ate it. And he was like, you, okay.
Oops. I should have clarified.
You
need to eat him.
Yeah. But it was very funny. I was like, that was the most Jace shit ever. Just be like,
It created a really cool interaction between, because I was also, and still was romancing Lysel. So I had this weird dynamic between the three of us, between the Emperor, him, and my character and the Lysel.
Pretty cool. Did you part Illithid?
No, I didn't, because my character was hot and I didn't want him to be like weird looking.
That also is a shame.
I
You
started
get
to do
fucked
it.
and you look ugly for a
No,
while.
you don't.
Yeah.
You look awesome.
It's cool, but it's just not.
No, you look
I
sick.
did
Towards
it,
the
and
start.
then I saw what I looked like, and I was like, no, I couldn't.
Towards the start of it,
Sick.
I think there's like a level of attractiveness that it adds. But as you get further into it,
You just look beat up.
you look,
Yeah.
Beat.
you
No,
look kind
you look awesome. You look like you have Sith eyes.
The Emperor was really
I won't
mad
die on this hill.
Oh.
because
Sick.
My eyes glitched and they didn't look any different.
Oh,
I-
all right.
They just from my
on,
eyes.
man.
I know. All I looked like I
your
got
eyes.
punched in both eyes and that was it. I had black lines in my face.
I got tired of trying to do that. Was it like a DC 30 wisdom save to like not become part of Lithid?
Yeah.
I got tired of trying to save scum that stupid
Yeah.
roll, so I just stomped on it next time, and I didn't realize that would work.
Funny.
He was like, he's like, that's such a waste. What have you done?
You just step on it. That's so funny. Oh my god. I love the amount of options they give you for stuff like that. It's very cool.
Yeah, when you get to that point, it's like 7. There's so many cool options you can do for that.
So this is where my biggest criticism of the game comes from. And I'm going to talk a little more about it in like a video that I want to make. But my biggest thing about the game, because I love it. It's very good. But on a first time experience, because we were all kind of playing at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, the full Arcane arcade crew, you know, we're all going through it.
One person wasn't.
Yeah, really. My biggest issue is the first time you get to Act 3, it's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And the game, in my opinion, does not do a very good job of introducing you into it. Because from going from Act 1 to Act 2 is very seamless.
Yeah.
You have one goal, you have one direction, and it kind of gives you a little Harper cutscene at first, or whichever way you go, and you kind of get led into the next part of the story, which works. Act 3 starts, and you have this really cool reveal, and then your next goal is not clear.
Yeah.
It is spread. It's basically like kill the bad guys, which is like me being a gamer looks at that and goes, I don't want to do that yet. I just got to the city. Like, but then the game decides to double down on that and like makes you, every character tells you to hurry up. The game tells you hurry up and then creates little like earthquake cutscenes to go, why aren't you doing the main quest? And it's like, what the fuck is going on? And the reality is you don't have to do that. You when you get to Act 3, you should not be gunning for endgame. Yeah. You should slow down, and you should it's a maze, and you turn right and you hold your hand out to the wall on your right and you just fucking go through the whole thing. That's how you do Act 3, or you just whatever you stumble across, you do that first. Ignore the game telling you get to the end, because it's overwhelming, it's ridiculous, and in my opinion, it made me feel this way. It definitely made Spencer feel this way, and Jack, and some other people that I've seen. They get to Act 3 and they go, oh, and then they restart because it's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, I took like 2 days off.
I also did. Yeah.
I did too, yeah.
I had the opposite experience. I got to Act 3 and I was like, the city! You can do all kinds of shit in the city. The very first thing I do every time I get to the city is I go off to the right and I find the little barn and I talk to the strange ox who threatens me and shows me like piles of corpses and I'm like, my man.
What's
I
up
never
with
found that
ox?
and I just started my new playthrough and they're in the camp and I'm like,
He's in
what the fuck?
He's in every act.
Yeah, that ox is
I tried my
whack.
hardest to get him there.
Yeah.
I show up and my character's like, oh, that ox again. And he's not there.
What happened to
The
your
fucking
game?
model didn't load. Or he was in the fucking wall. It's like one of those things where your character makes a perception check and you're like, where? What are you trying to show me?
Oh,
what
yeah, that happened to me a lot.
When I opened that thing, it was like, oh, that ox again. And I'm like, I know you're supposed to be in here. Where the fuck are you?
That's one of the major
Are you
things
this big?
I
Are you the
dislike
apple now?
about the perception checks. Because sometimes there's like that little beam of light. It needs to be brighter. It needs to be outlined.
Grab my neck and whip it around.
Yeah,
you need to take the camera from me and put it over here.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's that. Yeah.
Yes.
Because the character passed the perception check, but the
I
fucking
did not.
player did not.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool because I felt the same way when I got there, but I had this feeling of like, there's a lot to do here. I kind of pushed past it and was just like, I'm going to take things one at a time. And it was annoying to me that I had to like meta game a little bit and go, I'm not going to go for the ending right now. I'm going to explore. And even though the game's telling me to do that, I kind of have to stop. And that's what made me feel bad about it. But I had a good time. I got to that carnival and I was like, this is awesome.
Fun,
yeah.
And then that fucking Afridi, I made a fart sound and he sent me to Chult. And I was like, 10 out of 10. Yeah. This game's fucking a 10 out of 10. I love this game so much. And then
I did the clown makeup and I got really excited because I was like, now I'm in the city. Now I can like dress everyone up. So the
you get the drip.
Yes.
Oh.
So the very next thing I did after the ox, after the clowns, I went to find the fucking clothing store and then I dressed everyone up and I was like, this is awesome.
Was all clothes deleted from your game? Like what happened?
No, but I did do the carnival before the big fight and all of them were stuck with clown makeup on.
That happened to me too.
The whole game?
I got
Netherbrain and all.
I got clown makeup in Halston's
Great.
romance.
They had clown makeup on the entire time.
Did you like mod his game?
Can you
like,
not?
what did you do?
What
did you do?
I'm telling you,
It's
I
a
was
glitch.
playing it, and anytime the ground shaked, I was like, I could feel the wheels coming off the wagon. I was like, this game, I need to finish it tonight.
Can you not remove the clown makeup?
It's a known glitch because I had to look it up. It happened to me too. That sometimes
Craig got every glitch.
I intentionally didn't fuck with it because I was like, I'm not doing it. And then I was like, well, these motherfuckers deserve because that was right before I did Gortash. I was like, I finished Orin. I was like, these motherfuckers deserve a carnival. I went and did it. Still the makeup on. It was funny because Carla killed Gortash with the makeup on.
That's awesome.
But then I went to the Elder Brain and they still had it on.
Yeah.
And I was like,
having a life crisis and she's the clown emoji. Sorry, what were you
Lysel's
saying,
looking
Lacey?
at fucking Prince Orpheus clown makeup and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I got mine pretty fast. Like I fixed it pretty quickly, but it's supposed to come off on a long rest, and it didn't.
Nope.
And that night, I got Halson's romance scene, and it came off for my character,
God
but it
damn
didn't
it.
come off for him.
This is the fucking.
and
He's just going down
He
on
was
you?
wearing the clown makeup in bear form.
This is the corpses being hard all over. Again.
Yeah, that's
Oh
so
my
great.
god, that is so funny.
And then I wanted to see both scenes, so I reloaded the save.
Yeah.
So that I could do him not in bear form, and it was worse because he like gets down on his knees and he looks up and he's wearing clown makeup, and I'm like,
Craig told me he was nuts to see the Halson sex scene because he just looked over at your computer and Halson's just doing this.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, my guy's going in.
My wife's like, come here. I'm like, okay. And I look at her and he's like, gluk, gluk, gluk. And I'm like, I was like, you
Holy
can't show
shit.
me this.
Holy shit!
This is 11 o'clock on the Lord's Day, on a Sunday. Come on,
right in
Dad.
front of my salad.
Oh, I was like, hey, yo, he goes.
Did
Yeah.
you also in Act 3? Did you know that if you romance Astarion and Halson, you can take them into the
Yes,
brothel
I did know
after
this.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
you do
No.
Halson's or after you do Astarion's quest?
Yes.
You can take
Not
them into
before.
the brothel, and then you can fuck the
go.
Drow twins, and
There you go.
there's 5 of them
I
all
did
at
not know that.
once.
That's awesome.
Because Halson continued
great.
to be broken and worse.
Yeah.
It
So I
said in his
could do that because the game registered that I had romanced both of them.
Yeah.
I just did not get any of Halson's scenes. I don't know if there was
That's
just
sad.
like a weird bug or something, but yeah, it was.
I go to the bridge. I did a bunch of other stuff. I got like the medal and I found Gail's cat and I talked to pigeons. That was fun. There's
that. That's cool.
there's pigeons that there's a mail quest and they're getting killed and you have to find out why. And I had Jahirka speak with animals on them and they're like rank and file soldiers and it's very funny.
That's
they're
cute.
like, we're having soldiers die out there on the battlefield, and then you find it and it's Gail's Tressum, whose name is Tara, and Gail's like, oh you stop killing those pigeons, and yeah, it's very funny.
You can find Gail's cat.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's cute.
And then I go to the bridge. The Steel Watcher, it is an asshole. I get thrown in prison. It took me all of like 3 hours. I didn't know you could talk to that skull. There's a skull apparently that helps you get out.
Yeah.
I just did it. I just like fought everybody and got out. Yeah. I saved the lady that's in there, and then got out of there. And then as soon as you get out and you're in Worm's Crossing, nobody's aggroed on you anymore. And you're just like, oh, you're fine.
So
and then
I'm gonna
So I just got thrown in prison. I walk out the door and everybody's like, hey, Gortash wants to talk to you. So I just turn and go up the stairs and he's like, hey, and I was like, bro, you just put me in prison. What the fuck? I still got my chains. Like, what's going on?
I'm going to save a lot of people and tell you that there is an invitation to the coronation in the brothel on the top floor in the nymphs' quarters. If you go in there and you sneak next to the spa or whatever the fuck it is, there's an invitation. You steal it and then you can just walk across the bridge and you don't have to do all that.
Really nice.
I think getting into Worm's Crossing is where I sequence broke the game. Because I was like, I didn't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
I didn't want to fucking fight this thing.
Yeah.
So you can go down the edge on like the riverbank.
Oh, yeah.
And you can make a jump into it. Oh, and I got in there, started talking to people, jumped back out, went to the temple where the flying, where that fucking thing is.
The Hollyphant is.
Yeah, the Hollyphant is. Did that whole quest, then got the invitation to be the detective, jumped back in, and then I was like, I'm supposed to be here.
Oh.
But I think something about that busted the whole area.
The game pauses.
Because it's like, you're supposed to be in jail. And I'm like, I was like, no, I'm supposed to be here. And the game's like,
what?
Sven, the CEO, breaks through the screen. He's just like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. I was like,
you were not supposed to do
I thought that was the whole point. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to sneak in. And I snuck in. And they're like, you're not supposed to be here.
I didn't even sneak in. They put me in jail. And
I go to jail.
Oh, you're allowed to be here. I was like, what the fuck?
I originally tried to bribe that guard by telling her that I would make a donation to the orphans fund or whatever. That's and she's funny. Like, okay, yeah, why don't you move along now? Yeah.
Orin showing up as that
succeeded
as that
and then the thing was like, you're going to jail. And I'm like, fuck you.
Orin can also be someone in the carnival.
Yes.
Like the nymph lady.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And it's
sometimes cool. You can get them both.
Yeah. I got both. I got her, and then I walked down the road a little bit, and the journalist was like, hey. And I was like, why are you talking to me again? It's the same day.
So I, anyways, I
sided with Gortash. I don't know if I said this, but she's also a blacksmith.
Oh, that's
She's a blacksmith?
Yeah. Huh. I hit every fucking one of her.
Wow. I only got the journalist.
I got that, the blacksmith, that person at the carnival, and another time somewhere else. Huh.
I ended up finding the Emperor stuff, fighting those Gith, and then doing the murder side quest, and then finding Orin. I accidentally walked into her lair, but it's Lizelle who's like, hey, there's an enemy back here, you gotta run. And I'm like, huh? And it's like, haha, actually I'm Orin, and Lizelle's gone.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, I guess I'll side with you. So I've sided with both, and I'm like, cool, time to do every side quest known to man. In which Minsk is just hidden in a corner, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I was so surprised that he was just, like, he's hard to find.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. For not only being Matthew Mercer, but being like an iconic character. It's just interesting.
Orin is super interesting as Dark Urge, and I can't tell you why.
But
that's cool.
What I've heard
there
is
there is so much. She's one of the main like people in Act 3 if you're Dark Urge. And I really want to say it, but I will not say it.
I'll find out.
I'll find out.
It's so interesting. I originally I told Gortash, I was like, yeah, bro, like I'll do whatever so you don't arrest me or whatever. And then Orin shows up and she's like, well, actually, if you slay him, then we can be besties. And I'm like, yes, let's do that. I want to say,
but the sewers were also a really bad hotspot for me too.
They're confusing.
When you go in to do Asterian's thing and you can save all the kids, and they go underground, you can find the hunter with his kids. I had Lythander's thing on, this mace, and it blinded both of his kids because it has the aura that blinds undead. Blinded both of his kids. He turned to me and was like a guard, and then the model became as if he was a guard of Baldur's Gate, and was like, "You've done something wrong. You got to find your way out of it." So I tried to bribe him from blinding his kids, and then I couldn't talk to him again.
The game does that whenever you do something bad.
So now when I fast travel to the fucking sewers, I have to take off the light of Lythander, switch it to another blade, and then walk past his kids so I don't blind both of his children, and then he's pissed off about it.
I don't know what these kids are. I have no idea what this is.
The kids that are in the Cazador's like dungeon, right?
Yeah.
Because Asterion kidnaps
on the other side of
all the
Sebastian.
children from that
he
group.
kidnaps a bunch of Gur kids. And
Didn't know that. That's cool. Okay, there's a big thing I want to get to, which is there's so much about Act 3 I want to talk about, but there's big things I want to talk about with you guys, which is what we literally talked about at the very beginning of this podcast, which is that it first of all, the Iron Throne. Did you guys go there?
I don't know what that is.
I don't want
The
to.
underwater what?
No.
Oh yes, I did. I
The
did go
underwater prison
Yeah.
where you can save every. Oh
No.
my
Yes.
god!
I don't want to talk about
I didn't do that.
And Will's
Piss me
dad
off.
is in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So there's an
So
Go for it.
I go down there. First I did the Umberly quest that leads you there. I didn't go into the submarine. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'll come back to it. Jacob's like, you should go down there. So I do. I go down there. Gortash is like, hey, I'm going to kill everyone in here. I'm going to blow this up. I go down there. I save a bunch of people. And then I get out. And Jacob's like, did you find Will's dad? And I was like, no, he wasn't down there. What are you talking about? He's like, the Mind Flayer guy's also down there. Did you save him? And I was like, no, he wasn't down there. I didn't see him. So I reset the save. I go down there. I look in every room. I find the Mind Flayer this time. But I don't find Will's dad. So I'm like, he's not down here. I'm not gonna do this. Like, I'm just gonna get out. And then I find out that if you don't talk to Gortash
You don't go to
first,
the coronation.
if you don't go to the coronation, which I didn't do because I thought that was like, I'm gonna go fight him.
Yeah,
I don't want to
Yes.
do that
I mean,
yet.
it's
This
pretty
is
close.
my
It's pretty
issue
close.
with Act 3. The issue with the Iron Throne for me as well, I had to look up what to do next because when I first went there, Gortash is like, I'm going to kill everybody down here. I was like, okay, so don't go down here.
Yeah.
I didn't know it would then turn into a sequence where you have to save everyone.
Yeah.
So
Which was really
I was
cool.
constantly like, the game is like, you're about to do something insane. And I'm like, okay, I won't do it.
But
Sorry.
But I found out I looked it up because like maybe it's a bug, maybe he's just not down here. If you don't talk to Gortash, he doesn't send him down to the Iron Throne. And then if you do the Iron Throne first, he just kills him. And then if you do that, Mazora's like, I can bring him back, but you're mine forever. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I went back a third time.
She had to do that thing like 30 times.
Went and talked to Gortash. Karlach was like, I'm going to kill you. And I was like, come on, no, don't do this. We're in a room with 50 people. Like, don't start this.
Karlach, please!
There's like a roll. I failed it. She runs up on him. She gets bammed.
Teleport her to prison!
And I was like, where is she? Like, where did she go? I talked to him. The coronation happens. And I was like, okay, maybe if I leave the room, she'll come back. No, she's down in the jail cell. And I was
That's
like,
so fucking crap.
okay, I have to do this all over again. Luckily, that happened, though, because I found that lady that's down there. And also, all of Shadowheart's stuff was still in that chest. And I don't know how it happened. I thought I just lost, like, the spear and stuff that she had.
Whoops.
It was just in your prison cell.
Yeah, she had all of, like, her armor and stuff. It's just, like, her weapons were still in there.
Wow.
And
weird.
there was, like, a weird bug where, like, the spear that she gets was just gone for people. And I was like, maybe that happened to me.
Just vanished.
It's unfortunate that happened because the Iron Throne combat is my favorite in like the whole game.
Really
it's
cool.
very cool. It's super fun. I have a whole thing
I'm gonna
about
do
it.
it
But
3 times.
You, I did break Mazora's contract with Will, and then when that happens, that means that she's going to kill Ravengard. So I went down there and we saved him anyways, which was fun. I had to do it like 3 times, but get him out. And then when that happens, he's like, "Hey, a wonderful moment between him and Will. Love it." But then he's like, "There's a dragon that you can go find that can protect the city."
Oh, that's cool.
So then
That's why. Okay.
So then you get the quest to go do it. There's like a secret entrance. You go and you find it. There's these really cool puzzles you have to do where Baldurin, the statue of Baldurin's like, prove your might as a hero. And you have to do fucking Harry Potter chess and all these little trials. They're very cool.
No fucking
Very
clue.
cool.
No, there's
That's
one
so
with
cool.
paintings that is really cool. I love it. Then you go into a room and he's dead. The dragon's dead.
Yeah.
The dragon then has a bit of light come from his eyes. You fall over backwards. Your eyes are like exploding with light, and he's talking like through you, and it's just like he's like, "You're this thing's thrall, and you've come to kill me again." And I was like, "What?" And you find out that Answer was killed by Baldurin. Baldurin is the emperor.
Oh.
Baldurin, the founder of Baldur's Gate,
Yes. Is the emperor.
left on his boat, came back, and was like, "I want to lead a normal life." Went to Moonrise, became a Mind Flayer, and
Whoa.
you open the game and you see that statue. It's him the whole time, and I lost my shit. I was like, "No fucking way! This is crazy."
Unfortunately, that makes me more angry about what happened on my game.
yeah.
Because that is so cool. That pisses me off even
I didn't
more.
get that
Really?
either because I didn't save Will's dad in time, and then I was like, I mean, I sacrificed him anyway, like to Mizora. I was like, yeah, let Will out of his pack. So I was like, I figured that he didn't really matter that much, so I just kind of let him die, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
So what happened
missed
in your
out on all
game?
that.
What the fuck happened?
So, I don't know. Are we ready to talk about the endings?
Yeah, because I feel like
I think
mine was good, and we'll leave it off on a good note.
Because the wheels start falling off immediately on mine.
Two weird bugs that I wanted to talk about. When I fought Gortash, he kept saying the same line over and over again. Every time I'd hit him, he'd just say the same line over and over again. He looked goofy. His fight's kind of lame.
Yeah.
I had to do Gortash's fight 2 different ways. The first time I went, I just tried to what is the word I'm looking for? It's like when you like ram your head against something to brute force. Yeah. I just tried to brute force it by going through, and it was fun because there's ramparts in the back of the castle where you can like jump up, and that was super fun. But by the time I got to him, we were so low on stuff that we just died. Yeah. But I did enjoy getting to him. So instead, I went to the bridge. I had you do this too because there's a method. I just had us all cast fly, and we just flew up, and then we fought him. But yeah, what happened?
Wait, we have to talk about House of Hope too.
Oh my god! We do have to, okay. Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. I do need to talk. I need to call Maddie.
Okay.
So,
Can I talk about this weird bug?
Yeah. Go for it.
After I did the fight with Arcane, the wizard guy, Dame Aelin just never showed back up.
Same. She's vanished.
Also, her and what's her partner's name? Isabel. Once the 2 fights that they did were the one where you're in the inn and then later when you get her, they never healed back up, even though there were several long rests. Like Aelin was permanently stuck at like 20 health.
Yeah.
So I went into that fight with the wizard, and she just kept dying over and over again.
What?
So like it was kind of lame because she instantly got killed by like a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, I know you're immortal. You're gonna come back. I died. I came back. The next save, she made it longer. Once the fight was over, she comes back and she has like this like conversation with you, and then she's like, okay, I feel different. I'm gonna have a night and then I'll come back. But she never did. And I
didn't even have she didn't even explain that. She said she felt different and then she never came back to camp.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of the point.
There's dialogue. There's dialogue you're supposed to have with the 2 of them when you first get to Baldur's Gate that says that they're going to go look for the Temple of Selûne, like in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
And they go off afterwards to go talk to all of them, and that's why they don't return.
That makes me so fucking mad.
But it was just her gone. Isabel came back. Like I could talk to her, and she talked like she had conversations with Aelin, but she was never back.
This was the exact same thing that happened in my game. She went to fight Arcane, felt bad, never saw her again.
And then Isabel was permanently at like 13 health, and
she didn't even tell me about anything about the Selûnites after that, or the Shar people, or whatever it was. I couldn't further Shadowheart's thing because they have an argument. She comes back, and then I have Lororican, and she's like, "Hey, babe, I just found out some information." And then those 2 have a conversation about, "I want to go deal with Lororican."
Yeah, that happened.
And she's like, "Don't, you're
I
above
did have
that."
Yeah.
And then she goes, "I'm going to do it." And she leaves. I was like, "Okay, I'll come back and deal with the Shadowheart thing after I go deal with Lororican." I do that. She never comes back. And then Isabel's there, and she doesn't further the Shadowheart line.
Yeah.
She doesn't tell me where it's at.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have looked it up probably and just found it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know direction to go after that because she just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And our partner never showed back up either. Yeah.
I didn't know where to go for Shadowheart's thing because the quest just said look for refugees, and I was like,
I talked to every refugee I found.
I ended up finding it, and then we did it anyways, but it was weird.
There's some random dude that's like opposite the strange ox shed.
In Rivington, you have to walk down a specific path, and so you don't even have to like click on them. They come up to you and they're like, "I know who you are." Yeah. They're mad at you, basically. Yeah.
When you walk past, the dude's like, "Shadowheart," and I was like, "Oh,
I didn't have any of that.
You know us."
So maybe if you didn't have her in your party.
She's permanent in my party. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
I will say though, I'm going to complain a lot. Still 10 out of 10. The game's fucking amazing. Yeah. I know this is. I know I could feel the game gear up and fall apart. This isn't on them. I'll come back and play through it again.
I heard Marcia on the other side of the phone go,
"Daddy." But I want to make sure because when we get into it, I'm going to say a lot of really bad things for it because the game did fall apart. I still think the game's amazing, and I can't wait to play again.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to preface with that, because I don't want this to be like, should you buy it or not? Buy the fucking game. It's amazing.
It's incredible.
By the time you even get to the 3rd act, it'll be fixed.
Yes.
But my game really fell apart.
Wow.
Yeah.
There was there's 2 full patches and like 4 hot fixes that fix a lot of this stuff, and they're still rolling them out.
I think a lot of what my problems were because either I got in a weird spot that didn't work retroactively.
Yeah.
And my game just was busted from the beginning.
I had a weird bug. The weirdest bug I had, which with nothing compared to this and the Dame Aelin thing, was that the armor I was wearing had it's like that really cool one you can get from Dammon, where it's like super expensive.
Yeah.
But there's these pieces right here that just stick out. It's just like it doesn't follow geometry, because if he's looking at the camera, can't see it. But then when he turns, there's these two pieces of metal that like stick out from his nipples, and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
I had UNT armor that the snake scaled arms would do this,
Whoa.
and then come back up, and they would breathe almost the entire game.
That's really
my sleeves would
cool.
elongate off my body, and then come back up and fix it.
That's weird.
It's very strange.
You guys wanted to talk about the House of Hope?
So
well, what did you guys just talk about?
Dame Aelin
Got it.
never coming back to camp.
Yeah.
She came to the final fight. She was there. It just like...
So, Raphael's like one of my favorite characters in all of it.
Yes.
I love. He's great. He's a great villain. He's very cool. I fucking love the Nine Hells. I love Devils. They're very cool. House of Hope was awesome.
Yeah.
I got there and I did have to look it up because I did not accept his deal at first, and I didn't see Lizelle for a while because she was gone, and I didn't want to go to Orin because I thought I'd go into Endgame. Yeah. So then I went and got her, and then so after I fight the dragon, and after I've done like everything, I've disabled the steel watch, I fought Gortash, and I'm like, I have nothing left to do. Then she's like, hey, we should go free Orpheus. And I was like, I don't really want to betray the Emperor. But this is the point when I started to feel a little not meh about the Emperor, but I wasn't like, I love this guy like the whole, like I was. Yeah. Because I realized that he had like betrayed Answer a little bit. And then I did a little more research, and apparently Answer sort of betrayed him, where I guess they were lovers, and then he saw him turning a Lithid and then decided to kill him. And I was like, okay, I guess he kind of got the short end of the stick there. But there was a way he interacted with me at one point where he was like, kind of being very forceful, and I was like, come on, dude. Like, I have this issue with some characters in TTRPGs sometimes, not even TTRPGs, just RPGs in general, that are like, hey, you need to give me your trust. You need to give me your trust. Please give me your trust. And then you give them your trust the whole time. And then there's one point where maybe you question them, or you're just like, can you explain this? And they're like, wow, do I not have your trust? And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Not you need to give me trust. What the fuck? So there was like one situation where that happened. So I was a little like towards the Emperor a little bit. And then I looked up, I was like, is there a way that you can like do Lizelle's thing without like making the Emperor hate you? And then there was like, well, you can go get the Orphic hammer from Raphael. And I was like, I don't want to make a deal with Raphael. And they're like, oh, then you can go heist it. And I was like,
yeah.
What? And so that was, what did you do? What did you do?
Well,
what did you do? Because I also fucked that incubus.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Everybody's like, so, Jace, and I was like, I had to get the thing. I had to fuck for a purpose.
I actually made the deal with Raphael because I was like, well, I don't want the crown, and I don't want Gale to have the crown. So
I was like, pop off, king, get your crown.
Like, it couldn't. He already kind of like fucked some shit up with putting the orb in his body, and I was like, that was a bad choice, my guy. I don't really trust you with this. So
we all make mistakes.
So I was like, and I can't be fucking bothered. So I made the deal with Raphael.
Sure.
And I got the hammer, but then I found out, I was on Twitter, and I found out that somebody else had gone to the House of Hope, and then they posted a screenshot that made it look like you could fuck Raphael. Yeah. So I was like, yes! And I run to the House of Hope. It turns out to be an incubus, which actually I did not mind at all. And that was
very cool.
That was most of the reason why I even went there.
The whole House of Hope was probably one of my... I was just pure euphoria the whole time. I was like...
I didn't do it.
She didn't do it.
It was so cool.
Dude.
I was
so cool.
I was like,
You're missing out.
That's Baldur.
Next time I'm doing everything. I'm going to do every little individual piece, but...
Hope is cool. The fight to get her out. All of that's very cool.
Yes.
And then, I'm sorry, you get to the end... Motherfucker's like singing in the final fight.
Yes. He sings his own boss music.
He sings his boss music.
It's so cool.
And caught. And it like echoes and shit. Down came the claws. It's like what he said to you at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, it was really cool. My only complaint was that I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing, which is a skill issue. But I tried to escape that fucking like fireball that rolls around the house, and I got lost. And so my party was like basically dead by the time we got to the end, and I thought we were gonna escape, and then Raphael shows up, and I was like, I instantly died. So then I was
Same
like,
thing happened to me, and I didn't instantly die though. I thought I was supposed to fight everything on the way out, and I was like, I could just run. By the time I got the last room, I finally realized I could run. So I ran all the way out there, and I was just like, oh Christ. But then I was able to convince the Orthon to fight for me. And that was cool because he just kills the girl that helps him. Yeah. And then he ended up dying. So they're both gone. And then there's a bunch of Cambions. We finish him off. And then Will lost his soul. Like 3 of us were dead. And I was like, oh God. And what I always do is I play the first time I do a combat, I play it all the way to the end because I've had times where like one person lived. Yeah. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I was playing all the way through and I was like, I don't think I can win this. And then I got to Hope, and I was like, she has divine intervention. Yeah. In that moment, she had divine intervention, revived everybody, and gave them all a long rest. Clapped his ass. It was awesome. Oh yeah, if you've not seen it, you
should totally do it because it's crazy.
It is divine so intervention. Cool.
I accidentally got her killed before we even reached.
Dude, she's so cool.
Yeah,
she got the death blow on Raphael.
That's so awesome.
It was very cool.
That's very cool. So cool. I think Karlach got it for me, but
that's also very cool.
Yeah, it was very awesome. I took Karlach, Will, and Lae'zel.
I will say, of all the things in Act 3 that didn't fuck up, House of Hope went perfect.
Yeah, it
didn't fall apart at all. Everything was perfect. It was good.
It's such a great part of the game. I liked how hard he was. He had like 600. His health is 666.
Yeah,
so funny.
If you romance Astarion, he has some really interesting dialogue about the Incubus also, because a lot of a main theme of his backstory is like non-consent issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and so he's got some stuff to say about that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which honestly, that alone, I think is worth doing the whole thing.
Yeah. That was the last thing I did before I did Endgame. So I did that, and then I went to the Netherbrain. So, and then I ended up not breaking Orpheus free, even though I did do all that to get the Orphic Hammer. Yeah. But anyways, I want to get into Endgame, and I'll do mine last because I was really happy with mine, and we can end it on that. But I want to hear like your guys' kind of first. But so what was wrong with your Gortash fight?
Mine's kind of a stinker, so maybe I should probably go first too. Gortash. I got there, Karlach charged him, and I was like, fuck yeah, we'll kill him now. I don't care. Mm-hmm. We'll fucking end him.
Yeah.
All the bombs came out. Yeah. All the Seal Watchers were there. Tons of red radius things.
Yeah.
It was okay because my party was super mobile at the time. I could fly, Lae'zel could fly because she had these Githyanki like boots. Everyone could usually maneuver around pretty good. Yeah. But every time an explosion would happen, the game would kind of seize up a little bit. And then Gortash just throws fucking bombs everywhere. Mm-hmm. I was able to kill him, but my character got caught in this weird like backflip animation, and I couldn't get off it. So I was like spam clicking another character. Really and once I got to Lae'zel, I could back up, and then because auto grouping, my character would like glitch out of the floor.
Okay.
But they were caught in like rolling for initiative while backflipping. and then I was able to pull them away finally, and I was like, okay, Gortash is dead. We did it. Winner. Let's go to Netherbrain. Right. Before that, we had to do the Orphic Hammer. The entire time, I'm siding with the Emperor. Me and him are super chill. I'm like, I'm gonna become a fucking Illithid. I think it's super fucking cool. Mm-hmm. And he's like, dude, we have a couple options. I can eat fucking Orpheus. One of you motherfuckers can turn to it and eat Orpheus, or we need to find a way to deal with this fucking brain.
Yeah.
And it seems pretty clear that if someone makes a sacrifice to become an Illithid, with the stones, they can defeat or stand a chance to defeat the fucking Netherbrain.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm also romancing Lae'zel. And the entire time they're like, the dude's not that bad. I didn't even know he was Baldur. But if he's Baldur, he wants to save his city, he wants to do all this shit. He has a huge line of being independent as an Illithid, doing all this other cool shit. Yeah. And he's not, and most of his actions that are negative are always blamed on the fact that there was a brain controlling his actions. Yeah. So I was like, you can totally be, I don't say a good Illithid, because I was an Oathbreaker, so I didn't have to be good.
Yeah.
But you could be independent and different.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm not going to doom Orpheus. I'm going to side with my love interest, and I want you there. I free him. The Emperor turns on me and says, fuck you. Joins the brain. There's a whole heel turn.
Yep.
And when you're fighting on top of the Netherbrain, he shows up to fight me.
Yeah.
Okay. So at that point, I become an
Wait. Sorry, I back up a little bit. So did you want to become an Illithid, or were you just...
Because the option I had, I was like, I brought the Orphic hammer. I'm going to free this bitch.
Right.
And the Emperor's like, well, you can't. This now become another brain. It's way more powerful than we thought originally. Because I think that's after the point where you have to save 30, 40, and then the 99. Yeah. He's like, it's way too fucking powerful. The only way we can do this is if I fucking kill Orpheus or one of you make a sacrifice. Yeah. And I was like, I'll do it. I'm only half Illithid.
So did you become full Illithid?
Yes. I became full Illithid.
And then you freed Orpheus.
Yes. The Emperor turns on us and says, fuck you then. If you're not with me, I'm joining the winning side. Yeah. And joins the Nether Brain. And I was like, that fucking sucks.
That does suck.
Yeah. And I go into the fight, and it's a huge, cool fight. Yeah. Right? There's tons of enemies. Oh, yeah. You have all the dudes you can call in. Yeah, it's very I don't call them in until I get on top of another brain. Cool. Yeah. I have these really cool fights. I'm now full Illithid. I get tons of attacks. I can fucking zoom around.
God, that's so
super
fun.
Cool.
That's so cool.
I go into the barracks where all your allies are supposed to be there.
Yeah.
No one's fucking there. I have some random faceless flaming fist fuck.
Yeah.
That kid, Mole or whatever.
Okay.
And some other fucking randos.
Okay.
No one's else there.
Nobody else?
Not even the party I brought with me up the stairs are there.
Is it because you're Illithid?
I don't know. I mean, people like... there was a lot of interaction as you Illithid. But my game just didn't have any of my allies show up.
That's dumb.
My game also at that point in the gain allies says, the first one says I save the shadow, I shave whatever, Halson's on my side.
Yeah.
After Orin kidnaps him, it says Halson's left my party and will not help you in the final fight. I had both of those simultaneously.
But you killed Orin and saved him?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
No one's even in the barracks. And I'm like, that kind of fucking takes the wind out of my sails.
Yeah, that
but
sucks.
we're going to fucking do it. Yeah. I get up on the Nether Brain and I'm like, you and me, fucking Emperor, you betraying piece of shit. Yeah. We're going to fucking do it. Yeah. Cool fight. He shows up on a fucking dragon. Maybe the red dragon that you're supposed to help. Yeah. I'm like, I saved every fucking dragon slaying arrow for this bitch. Yeah. My action surge just kills him before he even gets a turn. Super cool. And I'm like, now I'm going to call all my allies. The lady finally shows up, the Azamar, gets dominated, never stops being dominated. Yeah. He drops concentration on her. She stays red, and she doesn't move the entire fight.
Oh my god.
I call in the Baldarans, the guard, and the fucking Gar hunters. Yeah. They both get dominated, and they just T-pose and don't move again.
Sorry? What the fuck?
And my fucking character, Shadowheart, half my party's useless. Yeah. Because Orpheus has 80 hit points and is just getting wombo comboed by shit. Okay. And he's just like dead and then gets back up and then dead and gets back up. Shadowheart keeps getting grappled by these things. Yeah. Will is fucking OP. The entire time he's slamming people. I have spell scrolls. That's awesome. I have to just zoom up into the Elder Brain. Thing, I do the whole thing. And then I finally get to the end. And then Lysel goes, you're a fucking menace. You're a beast. I don't want to be with you. I love you, but you crossed the line. It was too far. You can't be, you're a soulless Illithid now. But the entire time the game's like, you can be more than that. Illithids aren't all soulless creatures. Yeah. Oh no, you are. You're a worthless creature. You can't do anything. She's like, I have to go live with Orpheus. I kind of knew that was going to happen. Because I was like, but you know what? That's kind of a cool story too. Gil's like, I'm doing that thing. Good luck on your journey. And I'm like, okay. Shadowheart doesn't talk once in my cutscene. She's not even there. I did the whole fucking thing with her. She's not even present. Astarion goes, well, wasn't that something? And he starts to burn. He's like, fuck. And he scurries away. Never see him again. Yeah. Will says more things at my ending ceremony than 3 characters I played the whole fucking game with. And I didn't touch him once. He said the nicest shit. He's like, Halson, who knows? Jahira, no fucking clue. Fuck? And then I get dumped. And then the final cutscene has the nerve. Karlach also burns in the flame on the dock. I'm an Illithid. I turn, and the game's like, you're a soulless Illithid now. You will constantly hunger for brains. But maybe you'll be different.
That's dumb.
And then it goes to hard cutscene, and I'm like, whoa. Okay. Oh, this is bad. I would have not done this. Yeah. Is there no... Because the game feels like it gives me an out to go, dude, like, Emperor, you've given me all this power. Let me watch over myself now. Yeah. I'll get us there. And he turns, and I'm like, well, that fucking sucks. And I'm like, maybe there's still hope for me to be an Illithid. Oh, this is a path of no return? So you give me 8 million fucking check windows before I'm going Act 2 to Act 3, but you don't give me a check window that I might ruin all my relationships when I become an Illithid?
I have a theory about that. And that sucks story-wise, but I think I know why it happens, because I'm sitting here being like, why would they do that? Like, they built up... The first thing that I don't have an explanation for I think is dumb is that they're like, you're a soulless Illithid now. Like, that's stupid.
I mean, they give you a D&D answer. They say that, but then they go,
Yeah,
because it's D&D. There's no real answer. And I understand that, but it sucks because it like, is there no answer? Because my girlfriend just dumped me. The highest relationship I have goes, you're soulless and a monster. I can't follow you down this path. And everyone else is like, sorry, you're ugly. Yeah. And then they leave.
Yeah. I kind of get it with Lysel, I guess, but it is disappointing that you did all of that. But it is cool to see her go off with Orpheus.
Honestly, I think that's also rad. That's why I was like, when I became an Illithid, I accepted that extra. I was like, you know what? This is going to be a cool, like, heartbreaking thing. I'm an Oathbreaker paladin that loses my love, but she's going to go free her people. That's fucking rad. Cool. I'm down with that. It just sucks that every other person shafted me, too. So,
the Netherbrain does reveal that they purposefully let Baldur and the Emperor leave on purpose, and it was to get the Nether Stones.
Right.
I don't know.
Like, they just, 10D chess knew to let the Emperor go, and he didn't just do it just because he was super cool. It was because the Netherbrain did it. I wonder if because now Orpheus is gone, the domination just comes back, and the Netherbrain's like, you're mine now. I think
there's no scene that says that.
No, and that's the thing is it should, because otherwise they're not implying that, and that just means the Emperor sucks.
The game also had a lot of problems handling the fact that I was in those. So you can be on the brain, and you can go into like a demi space and fight the brain. Yeah. My game couldn't handle switching those two perspectives.
Neither could Spencer's,
and it just. I think that would contribute to all of my allies. I blow the horn and then no one would do anything because the game couldn't handle anything out here.
Ridiculous.
And then when it would try and load my scene, it was only one combat initiative. It was the brain or me. So it would do a bunch of shit to me, but I couldn't see it because I was on a black screen. I'd come in and go, oh, there's an orb of fucking annihilation. Yeah. I have 1 hit point. Yeah. I didn't see anything happen to me. Yikes. I guess I'll fucking pray that I get the next combat through.
What the That's wild.
But I will say, the game was fucking amazing. And I know what happened. The game got kind of clunky. I think I still sequence broke some things, and I think the game just couldn't handle it by the time I got to the end.
Well, now you know.
No, I think the first thought I had was, fuck, that sucks. The second thought was like, you know what? The second place is going to be perfect. Because then I get to kind of see where everything goes.
It does suck, though.
But I want you guys to give your whole thing, because you guys are going to have wonderful little ends.
What was like your, at least the one ending that you like kind of count?
And who'd you take?
My first ending with my Dark Urge fighter was really similar to yours, where I turned on the Emperor and he got really, he kind of turned on me.
You freed Orpheus?
I freed Orpheus because I wanted Lysel to like help her people. That was like her whole thing. She was really adamant about that, and I had already not been very kind to her in terms of like getting her quest done. So I wanted to make sure that I did this for her, and so I freed Orpheus, and the Emperor was like, I can't believe you've done this, and then he like fucks off and whatever.
That's dumb.
And then I still needed an Illithid for the final boss, and the option was to let Karlach do it, which I let Karlach do it because
she won't die.
Otherwise she dies, and she said,
"Whoa, that's nuts!"
She said, "I want to do this because it's the only way that I'm going to continue living."
No.
So I was like,
"Oh my god!"
I was like, "Wow, okay."
Oh my god!
So instead of her bursting into flames or having to go back to hell, I let her become an Illithid.
Oh my god! That's nuts.
So, and my final fight was a lot like yours, where like it didn't glitch very much, but it struggled to switch between the two perspectives. And also the Emperor showed up and he had the dragon, which I'm pretty sure now that I'm thinking about it is named Answer.
Yeah, it has to be. I was like, who's the fuck is this dragon?
I'm almost positive.
What dragon? Is it a red dragon?
Yeah. He rides in on a red dragon.
No, that dragon
That's
is
just
there
a dominated gift.
In our game, the dragon's just there, and he's just a dominated dragon. Answer is a bronze dragon.
Oh, no, the Answer's a red dragon.
The name's familiar. I wonder where I saw it. Anyway, so I'm trying to remember what all happened now. I know that
on that dock.
In my ending, Karlach was still an Illithid, and she seemed fine
Chilled
with it. Yeah. It was kind of sad, but she was like, "Yeah, well, you gave me everything, and
no, I can't do this. I can't. She's like, that's so sad.
She's like, you gave me everything, and you're the reason why I'm still living, and I'm so grateful to you." And I was like, "Man, I did you dirty. Like, I'm sorry."
She is.
Oh
my god.
I know that Will talked to me, but I can't remember what he said. I wasn't paying attention.
Will was default.
I didn't see Halson once, which was sad because I thought we had something.
Yeah.
And I didn't see Shadowheart at all. Astardan had like a whole cutscene that was really sweet, actually, because I had a good ending for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he started to burn on the docks, but then he found me later, and he was talking about like how he wants to spend his life with, like, the rest of his life with me, and you could have the option to be like, oh well, we'll find some way to get you out in the sun again. And
is that what happened to you too?
it's very cute.
Yes.
I turned and saw that because I think Astarion wasn't in mine, and I looked and he's like burning in the sun. And I was like, oh.
I was like, if they kill him right now, I'm gonna.
I know.
He just does a goofy little run though.
Yeah, he's just like,
Get the fuck. He like fucking Naruto runs
I
out.
got glitched out, fucked, and that guy scurried away from me. I was so pissed off. It's 2 a.m. I'm crying. I'm like, you piece of
What
shit.
the fuck is going on? That is, yours is so tragic.
Yeah, it was tragic. I was
Both are very
crying.
tragic.
See, but that's the thing. Lacey told me that. And I was like, oh, then that's my ending. I'll just become an Illithid. She'll probably go with me, and that's a wonderful little tail end. I think that's cool.
It's cool.
She did. I would say she did. She does like have a name for you, for saving her people. And Orpheus like, we'll make sure they remember the Illithid that was not dominant.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But sucked. And then the narrator is like, hey, you have to eat brains because you're a soulless creature.
What's interesting is, so everyone like turned on you for being a Lithid, but everyone was totally fine with Karlach. Even
No.
Lae'zel was like, "No, this is fine. Like she's still Karlach," and I was like,
ridiculous.
"Okay."
Yeah.
I think next time I'm gonna let the Emperor do his thing and not betray him.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking bop him right out. That piece of shit. I'm
So-
still mad.
Do you want to do yours last?
I can do mine if you want.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I took who did I take? I took Astarion, I took Gale, and I took Shadowheart because those were my main people. Well, I got all the way up. I got to the fight on the actual the brain, and then
By the way, the Nautiloids.
very cool.
Dude,
Just a
that
casual
whole fight
7,000
was
hit
so
points.
fucking cool.
I summoned in Dame Aelin, and she immediately got bopped and was like in the cycle of like being at like 10 hit points and then coming back up and
Pretty
did nothing. But she took the damage from me, so that was nice. I forgot. I sided with the Emperor. He ate the guy. I don't remember.
cool.
He ate Orpheus.
Yeah.
And all my companions were like, "Oh, that was disturbing. I hate that." We got all the way up there. He did the like little sequence where he like takes control of it and lets you go through. And I just killed it.
You're and then when it crashes, you're on the dock side, I think.
Oh yeah, that hurt. Who was it first? I think it was
So Lae'zel goes on the dragon.
Lae'zel went on the dragon. She left.
All the dragons like go through portals.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, did she just fuck off because Orpheus is dead?
Yes.
No, because she's like, now I'm gonna go be really cool now.
Yeah,
and
she
invokes
but
Blackest
she still
name.
says
Yeah,
like
she
fuck.
does
And
like
a
this
dragon comes
chant,
down, she gets a dragon,
and a
and she
dragon
flies
comes
off.
down, and she's like, "I'm gonna go be with my people."
Is it like she's gonna fuck up Blacketh, or she's like, oh, I'm just gonna?
No,
be
she's
Black?
like she's gonna be Blackest number 2 or whatever.
Yeah, she's gonna be like a
Oh.
champion.
like
yeah.
a super cool
I see.
Blackest
Yeah.
champion.
That's cool. That's cool. That's also good.
Then it was like Minsk was like, let's go to a bar,
Yeah.
and you guys can vouch for me because I've been thrown out of every bar in Baldur's Gate or something like that. Then Jaheira and Will had some pretty nice things to say. Karlach,
Gale goes, I'm jumping in a river, bye.
yeah,
Basically.
Gale was
That's what he
like,
did to me too.
yeah, he was like, I'm gonna bring this to Mystra and like try to redeem myself with her. Karlach is like, I don't want to. She was like, there was option to send her back to the Hells, and I was like, I don't really want to do that for you. So
Yeah.
unfortunately she dies, which was really sad.
What a wonderful scene that is. Too.
It is.
What a
It's
wonderful
One of the
scene.
best scenes in the game.
and
Anytime
then
she's in it.
Astarion he does his little scramble, his little skitter
That makes me
away.
feel so much better.
Yeah.
That's just the default.
Yeah. But then later he's like the last thing that
Yeah,
that I
the
saw
last
in
thing
the
you
game
see
was
is him.
him
Before
being
Withers
like,
shows up.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
like,
The
is
after
this
credit
the
scene.
Yeah.
is this the life that you want to live? Like, I'll never be in the sun again. It's like a life of shadows. And it's funny because there's an option where be like, I'm breaking up with you.
I saw it too. I was like, I want to click it, but
all of this, and you just break his heart. And then that was it. finish the game.
Next time I finish the game with an Astarian romance, I'm gonna click that option in just to see what happens.
Let me know, because I can't do it.
So, I opposite of Craig, loved my ending to the game. I was very emotional. It was very cool. So I guess I should go back a little bit. So I saved Lysel and we got the Orphic Hammer and all that, but I'm not certain what I want to do yet. I don't know what my goal is yet. I don't know what it is because I haven't gotten spoilers or anything, so I don't know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So we go to the Nether Brain and everything starts happening. It's nuts. The cutscenes are very cool. And then I go to the tower with all my allies, and that part was really cool because you go in there. I have with me, I'm taking to the final battle Lysel, Gale, and Will. And walk into that area, and it's like Jaheira, Astarion. So many people,
apparently. So many people.
There's a bunch of people in there, and they all say lots of cool stuff. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is awesome.
The Gur Hunters,
So here's a big difference. Astarion did not... He killed Cazador in my game, but he ascended to becoming a full vampire. Because I was like, pop off, King. Do it, because that's how I played with Jace, was just like, whatever everybody wants to do, you get to do it. Live your dreams. I didn't know that was like the bad end for Astarion, besides him not dying. So that was the only thing I was a little about, but I get it now. There's definitely like a layer deeper. I just didn't really focus on Astarion in my playthrough, so I was just like, oh, well, you want to become a cool vampire? All right, go for it. So whatever. But in the final fight, he's like, because he's Vampire Lord, he can summon undead. So there's a point where like my character is like, Astarion, we need the dead on our side. And a bunch of shadows and werewolves and zombies show up and they like attack. It's so cool. Whoa. And I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. I also do the 3 checks and talk to the Emperor. And I'm like, this is where I'm like, I have to decide. I don't know what I want to do. And he does this really cool speech where he's like, I have been with you since the beginning. Yeah. And he goes over things that you've done in your campaign. And it's just like, I've saved you and you've trusted me every along the entire way. You can't free him if you want to do the best option. And it's this. And I was like, okay, fine. So it was like kind of reluctant, but I was like, all right. I know we went and got the hammer, but I think this is the best way to do this. And then he just lets Orpheus go and he walks over and he runs over there and sucks his brain out. I was like, God damn. All right, let's go. And then we go over and then same kind of combat. I had to do it like 2 or 3 times because I kept being blasted by nautiloids, by the nautiloid blasts. But, and like everybody was dead. And I get up, got that, no, sorry, I didn't have Will. I had Gale, Will, and Lysel. Is that what I said? Yeah. Gale, Will, and Lysel and me. And then I was like, oh, thank fuck, long rest. And then go up the brainstem, get on top. Dragon shows up, and then the 4 countermeasures show. Oh my god! The one for Bard is called the snapping of strings. I was like, this is cool as shit. That was Friday night before Eberron. I did that combat twice, TPK'd both times, and I was like, God damn it, I didn't get to play until Sunday. And then Sunday I did the combat again and I beat it because the fucking countermeasure for Gale has counterspell, and I can't teleport because basically what I'm trying to do is summon everything in the middle, Dame Aelin, all of my everything, and then we're all going to teleport up here and then get into the portal. But it keeps getting counterspelled. We just wombo combo him, get all the way up there. Zevlor dies. That's where my Zevlor died, was there. He stood up to that dragon and got toasted, and I was like, 07. Yeah. We get in there. By the way, the name of that thing in there is the Indomitable Will of the Netherbrain, which is the coolest shit ever. Blow that bitch up. I cast like 3 fireballs on it or whatever. Then we're on the dock, and Astarion doesn't show up once. He's my Shadowheart in this scenario, because Shadowheart was there, but Astarion's just, I don't know where he is. He's just like, fuck you, I'm a cool vampire. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. So didn't see Astarion once. Gale's like, he's basically like, I'm gonna go jump in the river and go get that crown, but because I'm going to ascend, not because he wants to please Mistra. He's like, I'm gonna become a god. And I was like, hell yeah, you do that, my guy, you do that. Lysel goes off on her dragon, and then Minsk is like, we should go get drinks. And I was like, okay, chill. And then Karlach's like exploding. And I was like, ah! And I go over towards her. And it's this very sad scene of me being like, please, like, no, you don't have to die. And she's like, I want this. I'm like, okay. And then Will, who I've had like, I big focus on Will. And he's like, Karlach, I've had enough. You can't do this. And this is apparently the patch that came out the day before. And I didn't know this. And he's like, let's go to the hells, I'll take you there. And then there's an option that I saw, and I literally lost it. It was 2 a.m. for me as well, and I lost my shit. And it's like, all three of us can go together.
Oh,
Coolest fucking thing. She accepts you, my character, and Will. You're in Avernus, which is like, first of all, Jacob is like, and then she's like, all right, I feel better. She's like, I've been saving these for this moment. And she pulls out cigars, and you all light them, and she looks cool as shit. And she's like, there's some imps, they're going to tail us, but we got to make sure to claw through them. Let's destroy them. And the final thing I see is me, Will, and her just running into Avernus, and the game ends. And I was like, that was cool as fuck! That was I loved it. It was so good. It's like my favorite goddamn trope is just like, you don't have to do this alone. We're going to go together. And like, man, the idea of like the three of us just becoming like Doom characters in Avernus is the coolest shit. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. It was great. It was great.
That actually makes me want to finish my Carlac romance playthrough because
It's a good ending.
I got almost all the way through Act 3, and then I was like, I can't finish this fucking game because I know that Carlac does not have a happy ending, and that's gonna be tragic.
I really liked that because I was like, I don't want her to die, but then Will's like, come with me, and I'm like, dude, don't wait. I can go too. Fuck yeah, like that's it. That's it. Oh my god, that's it. And yeah, just I loved that ending. It was very cool, and I didn't romance anybody. I did fuck the Emperor. I had romance with Lizelle. I ended up breaking up with her. Then Will came on to me, and then I had romance with Will, and then I fucked Mizora, and Will was like, I dreamt of a kingdom for us, and you gave it away for a sip of the hells, and I was like, sorry, man. And he broke up with me, and then I talked to Withers, and Withers basically goes, so no bitches, and I was like, fuck you, Grandpa. He's like, you don't have anybody to sleep with, and I was like, eat my ass. And then I went to the brothel, fucked everybody there, and I was just like, ah. And then I also got the romance scene with the Emperor, which was fun. But it was nice because like Carlock and Will and we all had just like, it was all platonic. We're just like really good friends, and that was very fun. I liked that a lot. But I'm definitely gonna probably romance Carlock in my next one because of just all of that. I loved it. But God, good game.
I made it my life's mission in my Dark Urge playthrough to fuck as many people as I possibly could, and I managed Lizelle, Gale, Astarion, and then Halsin. Wow. Mizora, everyone at the brothel, both of the Drow twins, and then what was the other? There was like a. I can't remember the other two. There were two others.
The Incubus too.
The Incubus.
Yeah.
And
then myself. Myself. I fuck myself at the end. Yeah.
There's just a.
Pretty much, yeah.
You go to sleep for the night, and you're very horny. Oh, the Emperor's like, would you like some help? And he just gives you some visions. It's just porn, and you're just like, all right, sick.
Yeah, that's weird.
There's also some really depraved scenes in the Dark Urge, like because some dude shows up at some point and starts talking to you about your past life, but you don't really know what the hell's going on, and you can choose to either embrace what's going on or resist the Dark Urge. And if you embrace the Dark Urge, then he tells you some stuff that you did in the past that's like really wild.
Yeah. Wow.
It's good.
Nuts.
I've only heard good things.
Sounds fun.
Maybe that's what I'm gonna start tonight. Maybe
really likes corpses.
Oh. All right.
Maybe I'm not starting it tonight.
Yeah.
If you resist, you never get the corpse conversation.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, resist.
I'll remember.
Resist.
It was very cool though because in the final cutscene, when the Netherbrain is destroyed and I'm on the end and I'm like talking to Carlock, I don't have the Sith eyes anymore because the tadpole's gone and I'm not a Lithid anymore.
Good.
And I was like, I'm pretty hot, Jace again.
Yeah.
it was
I found that out and that spat me in my face.
Yeah.
I was like, no way, that's just gone.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, we're free. But then the dialogue is, we're free. Sorry, you had to sacrifice so much.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's okay.
I think that's that's really cool.
That's sad.
I think it sucks, but like it's kind of cool. I admire that you can do that in the game. I think that's neat.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, so we're going to do some questions, but we're going to run through them a little bit.
Yeah, we have unfortunately no time.
Yeah, but there are so many, but I feel like they're going to be about Baldur's Gate. People might have avoided it because of spoilers, but I did it like like a few days ago, so we'll see how many are there. There's only 18, so maybe we can speed through them. Because I think people are still avoiding Baldur's Gate spoilers.
Maybe in a few weeks we could do part 2.
Cool.
Yeah. At @arcade_arcane asks, did you call Craig during the stream today? I wasn't able to catch it live, except for the 5 minutes to send the super chat. Also, Bazinga Pinworms. No, a couple of people donated in my stream the other day to call you and tell you Bazinga Pinworms.
Oh.
And I went, I can't call Craig. I will give him a panic attack. And he will be very confused.
Valid.
So I will send. Everybody was like, "Do a voice memo," and I was like, "Will do."
That worked out.
And it was funny because Craig, you just laughed, and I was like, "The chat told me," and you were like, "That's even better." And I was like, "Yeah, it was dumb." Dathan Husel asks, "What is your favorite weird respec for your Baldur's Gate companions? Barbarian, Gale, Wizard, Karlach. Weirdest definitely has to be our Narf chat plays, which is they've undone Gale and he's a barbarian." Gale, and when Gale rages, he makes this sound. This is what he does. He goes. That's what he does. That's the sound he makes. It's very funny. Astarion's a bard. He has vicious mockery, and it's
awesome.
he's just like, listen here, and he like does his little insults, and it's great.
That's cute.
My favorite one I did in my game though was I made Will a paladin, which is fun. Did you do any respecs?
I made Shadowheart a light cleric.
Yeah.
I thought about making her a paladin, but
I did not, but that probably would have been my favorite.
Oh, that's cool. Did you do any of it?
No, I didn't know that I could because I played on Explorer and you can't multi-class if you play on the easiest difficulty.
Dumbest thing. That's such.
I totally get
thing.
it, but
So
There's
I
a mod.
assumed that my party also could not multi-class, so I didn't bother.
I think it's more of a you're playing on easy mode. You don't know D&D very well. We don't want to confuse you.
That's the thing
Okay.
I think it's why, because if not, you go, I can also be wizard
and
and barbarian,
and
and you don't go.
Got it.
Ooh,
Oops. Yeah.
level 12, but you're one in every class.
I was gonna say because multi-classing is kind of not great in the game, and it makes it a little harder.
I'd imagine it's because it's like if you don't really know what you're doing multi-classing, you might fuck up a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
At least that's a vibe that I would get because it's like you're just gonna be this.
Yeah,
you'll be all right. You're gonna have to deal with subclasses.
Got it.
We'll deal with that later.
Got it. Some guy asks, if you partied in Baldur's Gate 3 with 2 friends and could only have one NPC in your party, who would it be?
One NPC, like one of the
characters.
One of them, I see.
Yeah.
Like we're having a real life party, or
No. Like
let's say
let's
you're playing with the 2 of us.
Exactly.
You get to pick the one NPC. Who is it?
Whoa.
Are we making a horny decision or a useful decision?
What's either
Private dialogue decision.
What's the horny decision? Private dialogue? No, I keep that shit open. Everybody can watch me fuck.
If we're making a horny decision, I'd take Halsin.
Yeah.
But a useful decision, I probably would take Gale or maybe Astarion, class assassin instead of Arcane Trickster, because he does a fucking lot of DPS.
Yeah. I had him as assassin first, and then I switched him to Arcane Trickster because I wasn't ever sneaking. But I will, I think, on my next playthrough. But
who you taking?
I think it'd be Karlach or Gale.
Ditto.
Horny decision is always going to be Astarion.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Shadowheart because she can heal.
Yeah, Shadowheart's good.
Unless someone's playing cleric.
Seth Tech asks, which member of the Baldur's Gate 3 cast would make the best hot... Oh, he said ditto for me?
No. Yeah, I did.
Seth Tech asks, which member of the Baldur's Gate 3 cast would make the best hot dogs? And would you eat that hot dog? I have this weird theory that, like, Will's a really good cook.
That makes sense.
I think out of everybody there, like, he knows how to cook really well. Like, Lysel's just got some weird shit.
I feel like there's dialogue where it says that that's not true, isn't there?
Is there really?
For some reason, the fandom thinks that Gale is a really good cook, and I cannot confirm or
also makes
deny
sense too,
that.
though.
But
That makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
he did live in his tower for like over a year.
Yeah.
I revoke my answer. It's definitely Gale. I think Gale is the best cook.
I think he's the best cook only on the basis that everyone else is supremely fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Because he's probably like
There ain't
microwaving
no way
burritos.
Shadowheart knows how to cook.
I was just thinking about that, but just eating the fucking kids' cuisine.
Yeah.
She's eating the tiny mac and cheese with the dinosaur nuggets.
She's in the camp, in the bushes, listening to everybody fucking talk.
Yeah.
She eavesdrops on everybody. And she's in there with her girl dinner going, like a little gremlin.
Karlach talks about eating dirt, so it's definitely not her.
Yeah. Lysel, like, she's got some weird... On Kresh Kalir, we eat the fingers of our opponents, and we pickle them in the brine of the illithid.
They wouldn't do that.
And Astarion just eats
rats.
Yeah.
rats and bugs.
And
rats and bugs.
And that one time he found a bear.
Yeah. I feel like Halson's a good cook.
Probably.
But he's vegetarian.
I don't know. I feel like he would just wander around and eat shit off of bushes.
Like berry.
He has like, a good berry. He's like, I don't need to cook.
Oh, he doesn't need to eat. He's just like,
I have this berry.
Why would I need to do that?
Efficient.
That's why he looks that way. Man's calorie counting one berry a day.
And then Minthara's like, mushrooms. And you're like, oh, God.
It's gotta be Will then, I guess.
Yeah. Somebody does talk about food one time that I know I'm remembering. Shadowheart will not shut up about the fish in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Oh, the freshest fish I've ever had. And I'm just like, okay, Shadowheart, the fish is awesome. And
we're getting takeout every night, it seems.
Yeah.
There's that, that little kid that makes soup.
That's more confirmation.
Oh, yeah, that little kid.
That's more confirmation Shadowheart does know how to cook.
I have that kid. Does that kid make soup for all you guys?
Yes.
That kid just says they brought their own fork and then they stopped talking to me. That's all it says is I brought my own utensils. And I'm like, oh.
In my first playthrough, that little kid is the person that Oren kidnapped.
Oh,
that's
I thought cool. That was like the default.
I thought Lysel was default. Apparently, she can take Halson.
Yeah.
Took Halson.
That's weird.
I couldn't. Okay, I don't want to get back in my game, but I couldn't get Halson out of the table.
What?
Because the table was locked.
Yeah.
I didn't have the release. So look, thank God Gale had knocked.
I kind of like it.
Gale knocked the table, and Halson did this, and I was like, "You good? You good?" He's like, "Thank you."
Daniel.
Yeah. We have the same thing. I'm like, get out of here! Get the fuck out! And after that, I got that thing that said he left.
Oh,
my game was busted. That kid was like, "I brought my utensils," but after Zevlor was killed by Oren shows up, throws his naked body on the ground, and then paints a picture with his blood. And I'm like, whoa! And I'm like, kid, are you okay? Because the kid's right next to where the body drops. And I was like, I brought my utensils. And I'm like, well, you're fine.
He wanted to eat Zevlor.
I was like, whoa!
In my playthrough, she disguises herself as Lysel, and she has that kid with a knife to her throat, and it's like, I'm gonna kill them. This is Oren. She's disguised herself as this kid, and then it turns out that...
plays 3D chess.
Yeah.
She's a bear, because she's Halson, but she's a bear, and she has like, what's it called? Scratch?
The dog?
In his mouth.
Oh.
And I'm like, what are you doing with this dog? And Halson, and then I like calm the bear down, and then he unwild shapes back to Halson, and he was like, the corruption of Baldur's Gate's affecting me. Everything here is making me angry. And I'm like, dude, chill the fuck out. And he's like, you're right, but I'm actually Oren. And I'm like, wait, you're a changeling that can... I was like, you did one too many.
I don't know how you didn't know from the second that he started saying something that wasn't about Thaniel.
Yeah.
I was just thankful. I'm like, you're talking about Thaniel for 6 hours and you want to kill this dog?
I never had the dog or the owlbear.
Me either. I skipped it.
No, I had the dog the entire time. I didn't have the owlbear.
Yeah.
I got it because I was told that they had, if you like use speak with animals in your camp, then they'll have like a really cute friendship, but they never talk to each other even once.
Whack.
So then I was like, yeah, whatever.
I think it's funny that Gale has a fucking tower in Waterdeep. That's hilarious.
I didn't see that either. That sucks.
Yeah. All right, Gale makes good hot dogs. I did want to say that, I think I said this already, but it's funny how we all had that different interaction with Oren, because I feel like I caught her off guard, because she seems to be on top of all of you guys, but I'm like, Emperor's sword, Emperor's armor, this is cool, I just killed a bunch of rats and a bunch of gith. Ooh, I wonder what's in this door. And it's like Lysel's out of breath, she's like, we gotta get the fuck out. You can't come in here. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, It's me, Orin. I took Lizelle. Honestly, get the fuck out. You're not supposed to be in here yet. And I was like, okay.
She's like, I'm just square with you.
She's like, look, I ran all the way here. I didn't know you get yourself quickly. And I only saw her once. She was just that journalist, and then she was there. That was it.
Orin's like, I'm not a
No, it's really weird when she's the like nymph lady in the carnival because she has this like you pick one of your companions, and you have like this opportunity to like I did it with Asterion, so it's like really loving, and then in the end it's her, and I'm like,
oh my god, wait,
what the fuck's going on?
She still does the nymph power like dating scene.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That is, she's the weirdest changeling I've ever seen.
I have a picture saved on my phone that's like an article title, and it's got Orin on it, and it says the LGBTQ community has forgiven Orin the Red.
Yeah. She's so fucking cool.
Yeah,
her
she's
mom's
very cool.
corpse is just in her fucking room.
She's tart as shit.
Crazy.
She's awesome.
She does this thing, I think when the first time you interact with her, as I think the blacksmith or something, that's the first one I had, where she like breaks her own neck and then comes out of the shape, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's cool.
Orin is why everyone should play Dark Urge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know what?
Cool.
I'm doing it. I'll start it tonight.
Yep. Colleen asks, hello, I just started the game not too long ago. Here's my gal, a tiefling rogue named Ronia.
Aww, she's so cute.
So cute.
I like that.
Why doesn't it?
Ooh.
So cute. I love that you can have freckles. It's the best
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Always
And a bit of
freckles.
Lego.
And your character had a bit of Lego. It's pretty cool. And I gotta know who y'all romanced. Love y'all very much. I already said I try to fuck everybody and got no one.
The only person I have not romanced in a playthrough is Will, and that was not on purpose. I tried.
He dances with. I broke up with Lizelle, and she was very sad, and it was very sweet. And I was like, "Good night." And then he's like, "Want to dance?" And I was like, "I'm still sad about Halson being dead, but okay."
I kissed him when he asked me to dance, and then Astarion confessed his love for me again. So I was like,
Damn.
Well, I'm
sorry,
Yeah.
I gotta.
Francois Anderson asks, as someone who is now obsessed with Baldur's Gate but also has a life outside of it, can you tell me how to not keep playing it and let all my other obligations fall to the side?
No, I have 350 hours. You're doomed.
You asked the wrong group. Yeah.
What I did was a year ago I had a baby, and she needs me
Valid.
most of the time.
Yeah.
So I get about 4 hours of playthrough a day. So if you want to find someone, have a child together, maybe adopt.
Burden yourself with responsibilities.
You could try going to college, but
If
that
you are
hasn't stopped me.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you do go through this, sometimes you can put things on the floor and they'll play with it, and you can get 15 minutes in.
What's that tweet? It's the sim and the baby's on fire.
Yeah.
And it says,
on,
"Not
baby."
now, mommy. Not now, sweetie. Mommy's playing Baldur's Gate 3." Newt One Izzard, him asks, "Did you do the thing with the bear?" No, he died.
Yes.
No, unfortunately, mine broke.
The game.
My bear was damaged in the box.
Yeah. The game said that I did, but I didn't get the cutscene, so no.
I have done it
That's
multiple
whack.
times.
Thank God someone
with
is doing it
multiple
all of us for
characters.
all of us.
Oh, I love this question. And favorite ships between the characters, including enemies.
Oh.
Mia and I are pretty hardcore Will Carlock shippers.
Yeah, that's valid.
which
Yeah,
I
enemies
agree
to
with.
lovers.
But I also
Lae'zel's Shadowheart.
Yeah.
yes,
yeah.
Lae'zel
Enemies to
Shadowheart is
lovers.
good
Yes,
too.
for
Yeah,
sure.
And
my favorite dialogue is when you go to the Underdark for the first time, and she's like, "Be a shame if you fell into the darkness and we never saw you again." And she's like, "If you," and she says something like really hard after that. She's like, "Right," and then I'll kill you or something like I don't know what it is, but it's really funny.
There's a really good scene at the end of that, or after she throws the knife on over. She goes, Shadowheart, I've really seen you improve. And Shadowheart's like, I don't take compliments. She goes, I don't make compliments. I make observations.
Kiss.
And I'm like,
they have.
I'm an illithid. Just do it already.
There's that
Forsake
scene
me.
where Shadowheart holds her knife up to Lae'zel's throat.
Oh,
That-
yeah, I
that-
had
that-
that too.
that is very gay.
There is never an unhorny way to hold your knife to someone's throat.
Yeah.
I was like,
Isn't she like on top of her too?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Jace was like, the way I played Jace in that moment, it was just like, guys, stop. Guys, stop. And they were like, ew, and then they stopped.
There's also, in the very, very beginning, if you take Astarion and Gale out at the same time, Astarion tries to flirt with Gale.
Oh.
And I was like, I didn't even know that was flirting, but someone pulled up like the scene
The
notes.
charts.
Yeah.
The C notes from the devs, and it was like, oh, attempting to flirt or something, and I was like, oh.
One of my
That's
favorite
cool.
lines of dialogue
Oh.
is when
They're both old.
Gale gets told to kill himself, and Karlach is like, "Oh, poor Gale.
Yeah.
I should go tell him that I never read any books in primary school." Oh god, I love the banter like that. It's my favorite fucking thing. They also put this is very funny, and I have to show Emma this, but it is a picture of Quintilius, and it says Chick Leflin on it with a mustache.
Yeah, Emma's gonna love that.
Really funny, and unfortunately, I cannot explain to you, Lacey. It will take way too long, but maybe I will later. Shania LaBulge asks, what's daily life been like for you all recently? Daily routines, new and current hobbies aside from D&D, etc. Love you guys bunches. Baldur's Gate.
Well, I wake up and I turn on my computer and I play Baldur's Gate, and
And they
then
put this picture.
sometimes I eat breakfast. Not often.
Oh, it's you.
It's you.
That's cool.
Same. I'm playing Baldur's Gate, and then I'm a dad, and then I make stupid videos on YouTube, and then I stream, and then I play Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Twice a week, I drive to Fresno and go to college, and I hate it.
That's cool.
And then I go home and I play Baldur's Gate.
I've been staying up late to talk to our artist, who I think is in China.
Ah.
So, but that's a cool thing because then I could talk to him for a little bit, and then I go to bed, and I wake up, and there's a ton of shit
art
done.
is
It's
nuts.
so good.
It's nuts.
I wake up and there's a little message from Craig, and it's an art update. And then today there was a message from Bia, and it was an art update.
Every day listening to hours of music. I'm just consuming
Oh, I
content.
have a
That's so
playlist
fun.
for you. I made it in
Good.
the middle of the night the other night.
Awesome. Send it.
Also, oh great Craig behind the camera. What is
Yeah.
your wisdom?
Today,
Yep.
I think I'm gonna double down with Spencer that if you ever need a good out, start baking a kid. You have the kid, and then you have an out no matter where you go.
It's great.
Yeah.
I think it's a great deal. I think.
When
Do you know how much better public perception of you is when you have a baby with you? People do anything for you.
Yeah.
And they're so understanding.
Get the door for you.
yeah.
Watch your kid.
I would also
Feed your
add
kid?
a sick spouse. You can use that excuse for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Are you going to, or have you done Dark Earth
Wait, one
playthrough?
second.
Yes.
Only have a child if you're ready for it.
Oh, please God, please. No, yeah.
For real.
I was joking before.
Here, the real. I don't know. Never mind. I'm going to say that.
Okay. Max Martin says, are you going to do a Dark Earth playthrough? Yes.
Yes,
That's
tonight.
on the
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Lacey
I
has
have done it
convinced me.
many times.
I feel bad being bad.
Me too.
No, you can resist it though. It's
I
so
don't want to feel.
good.
I don't want to feel safe.
We're gonna speed through these.
Okay.
Hold
A
on.
panda is no longer classified as an endangered. It cuts off. What have been your thoughts on the various class changes in Baldur's Gate 3, such as Thief Rogue's fast hands ability being changed to just having 2 bonus actions, or the 4 elements monk basically being a whole new subclass, though it's similar to 1 D&D's. Love
good.
it.
That's good.
Love a lot
That's
of it.
good.
I just made a video about all the rules that I really like.
Winner.
2 bonus actions. It's great.
I love 2 bonus actions so much. Fun.
What is it before? Like you can climb?
I
Some
don't know.
stupid shit.
It's good. I love it.
great.
Dave Baker of Killer Bread asks, a common point of criticism has been that race towards Act 3 is the supposed incompleteness of Karlach's story. After experiencing the ending yourself, do you find that to be valid? Not really. I thought Karlach's story was pretty good. I felt like hers was the most fleshed out of everybody's besides Shadowheart and Asterion. It was more Gale. No, Gale got some stuff too. I don't know.
I think the game does a whole lot of lead up to it, but doesn't give enough on the tail end. There's no epilogue scene. There's no anything. Fucking Withers gets a goddamn Marvel post-credit scene, but we don't
it
get to
was
fucking go
pretty
into
funny,
camp and talk to everyone.
So,
fuck it.
Yeah.
Withers is
I think-
Jurgle, right?
I don't know who that is.
The old god of death.
Yes.
He's Jurgle.
I think
his name's
he's
Jurgle.
I think his name is Jurgle.
I understand why they call him Withers now.
I think
If it's like I'm Jurgle, I'd be like, get the fuck out of my camp.
Jurgle.
I think the complaints with Karlach's story is a moot point because it got fixed.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Well,
That actually could have been asked before. I don't know,
Quentin
but
Walker.
valid. Yes.
Quentin Walker, Sovereign Glut or Sovereign Spa? Oh, it's Sovereign Spa.
Spa.
I sided with Spa, yeah.
Who?
Glut can fucking
The
burn.
fucker. Oh,
Yeah.
the 2 people.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Myconids.
I never had a problem with them fighting each other, but the
Oh yeah,
the
I
other
didn't.
guy.
I didn't talk to the other one.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Well,
He stopped me on the way out of camp, and then he was like, "Well, actually, I want to do genocide." And,
fuck that guy.
and then I was like,
Yeah.
"Actually,
I-
what if you
All the
genocided
Myconids are
yourself?"
cool as
Yeah.
shit.
Glut has died so many times over the years because he's in early access. I've killed that bitch a billion times.
I think I did that with you, and he just died. So
Yeah.
He just was like,
yeah.
It's Spicy says, Shadowheart, I can fix her.
you
Some
can.
question. Yeah,
You can. She
can.
she gets mad. She dyes her hair.
Crunchbite010 asks, is the mark on Gale's chest just a magical tattoo, or is it a hole he shoves his little tasty magical shoes into when you give them to him? TLDR, what does Gale's hole do?
His whole
That
deals
it's
with
the
minor
visual-
inconveniences.
It's the visual representation of the orb in his chest.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the side. That's the consequence of.
And it goes up
What
to his
happened.
eye too.
Yeah.
It's very faint. But
that,
it's
Yeah.
his
that tattoo
eye.
goes fucking hard.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So cool.
I like the image of him being Peter Parker and into the Spider-Verse, and it's him with the magic items. And it's
Oh,
like he's
yeah.
eating the birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I love that.
Did any of you guys use the orb?
No, but how many times my fucking character, whenever I got into combat, my cursor was always over using Netherese orb. It doesn't matter if it was like, you fell in a tavern. There's 8 million
Netherese
rats.
orb.
Netherese orb.
Blow him up.
Blow up the world.
Did you use it?
No.
No. Am I the only
He
one that
tried
did
to.
it?
He threatened because I took him at the end of Act 2 to
Yeah.
the Ketheric fight, and then the brain like came up from the goop or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck is
Yeah.
back there, and he's like, "I have to kill myself now," and I'm like, "Gale, no!"
Quit. Knock it off.
Do you want to know what happens if you use it?
The game ends.
Yes.
Yeah, the game
It
is.
just ends the fucking
You're
game.
done. You don't even get
did
Act
it.
3. It just ends.
You get an achievement
You
though.
did it. That's
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Final question. Grant XVB asks, Craig, I'm so glad that you enjoyed Lana Del Rey.
Oh,
My
yes.
new recommendation for you is to report on Japanese breakfast, which
Oh,
is
I don't know
very
what
good.
that is.
I know about Japanese breakfast. It's very good.
I will say, in the last comment section of the last video, someone did say that I should watch, what is it called? Hang on, let me get them up real fast. It's an album called Cry Baby
By Melanie Martinez.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It is phenomenal.
Yes.
Very, very, very good. I'm just blown away. I mean, I recognize some of them.
16-year-old me would lose my mind.
Craig,
when
you
say
have
that.
no idea.
God.
When
So
we
good.
first started dating, I was being nice still. That sounds wrong. But that was the only thing we'd fucking listen to because she fixated on it for like a half a year.
I totally get it.
And it's good. It's good. I'm very sick of it. But
Yeah, I played a song from it the other day because it was just on an old playlist of mine, and he was like, "Oh God," and I was like,
I was just shoved back into like 2016.
I did
and
not
was like,
I'll be
Jesus
honest, I didn't
Christ.
realize that came out that late ago. Or that
Yeah,
was
it was-
long ago. It's cool. Super good. I mean, I
Last
recognize
thing
some, not all.
I want to say,
But I will totally work on that.
and I want to say this to the end is I don't know if I'm ever going to get to react to this or anything, but it came to my attention yesterday, and then some more stuff happened today. There was a D&D video that dropped on the official channel, which is called Baldur's Gate 3 Fun Facts of Larian, and I don't remember Ross Stevens, who is the senior game designer at Larian, fucking name dropped me in the video.
Only you. I want to make sure that that's said. Yeah. He didn't say this person. He said one
Only
fucking
He
YouTube
said
creator.
He was jet lagged and he watched my video that I just uploaded, and he was like, "Oh, and we had watched this stuff beforehand and got inspiration from that." I was like, "What? No way! That's nuts! What?" And I freaked out. I was telling everybody about it, and I was like, "This is crazy," because I've never really been mentioned in passing like that before from like that level.
Yeah.
It's normally like I'm very aware, but that was just something. It just happened, and I didn't even realize. And that was so crazy and very surreal. So everybody at Larian, Ross, and none of you are watching this, but Ross Stevens, all of you guys, I love you all. This game, we fucking love this game. It's amazing. Thank you for making it. You guys are the absolute best.
Phenomenal game.
I cannot believe that you just watch my videos and I'm imagining it's just like some fuckers programming and they're just listening and go, wah! And I'm like, why? Why? But anyways, he did reply to my tweet today and he said, "You're welcome. Watch your videos the whole time while working on BG3 and it helped my thoughts on many things." I'm speechless. It's very surreal. I've barely accepted that has really happened. That is absolutely nuts.
Paragon
That's wild.
Paragon of the community.
Fucking crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, I can't. That's nuts. That's nuts. I've never gotten anything like this. This is insane. Thank you. You guys.
Deal.
You guys are the best. Oh, shit. I'm going to ride this for a little while.
You should. It's a big deal.
And I felt that way when we were talking about the Gortash bombs, and I was like, I talked about that in my saving throws video. Like, being like, what if there is no save for like maybe a trap and instead it just blows up on the turn? And it was in the game and I was like, hey, that's the rule I really like. And now that this happened, I'm like,
they didn't fix
what?
They didn't fix counterspell though.
What? They didn't fix counterspell's fine. They didn't fix counter charm. The
Counter
bastards.
charm.
Did
not
you watch
counterspell.
anything? Did you watch anything?